Part 76. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 763. After crossing the space passage, 7 towering peaks appeared in front of Su Junming. The 6 outermost ones are 10,000 feet high, with stars surrounding the center like a moon, and the main peak which is 30,000 feet high. The 7 peaks are not as good as the famous mountains and rivers in Chixi and Shenzhou, but against the backdrop of millions of miles of flat grassland, they have a domineering air that overlooks the world. Tianlang Mountain is the name of these 7 peaks. It is also the sacred mountain in the hearts of all wolf tribes on the grassland. The Tianlang Peak in the center is connected to the Black Emperor Immortal Domain, and the Moyun Palace on the top is where the imperial city of Liao Kingdom is located. The 6 peaks around Tianlang Peak are dotted with palaces and pavilions from top to bottom, especially the tops of the peaks. Among them, the light rises and falls, I don't know how many. The demonic energy is at its peak, like the sun and the moon. I don't know how many demon clans live there. Therefore, Tianlang Mountain is also called Tianlang City, but it is not a city in the traditional sense, but is in the shape of a mountain. Looking down at this unique city, Su Junming no longer restrained his aura. In an instant, the magnificent energy, blood, and magic power, like the Milky Way flowing backwards, pushed away the atmosphere and shattered the sky. It was like a ball of blazing sun falling out of thin air. Most of the demonic auras of the hundreds of millions of demon clans in the entire Tianlang Mountain were transformed by the tyrannical Pure Yang aura. Fortunately, the heavy formations blocked the fierce Pure Yang Qi and blood, otherwise the demon clan here would have been tempered by the high temperature contained in it. Such a huge change instantly caused the entire Tianlang Mountain to panic. The aura coming out of the scorching pure sun was boundless and powerful, and I couldn't bear the slightest desire to contend with it. Yelaki, who was practicing deep in Moyun Palace, instantly felt this extremely powerful aura. His expression suddenly changed, his body turned into light, and he quickly flew out. Arriving in mid-air, looking at the vast qi, blood, and mana in the distance, he clearly understood the powerful aura of both magic and martial arts practitioners, and he immediately understood who was coming. Su Junming, the Liao Kingdom, have never had any grievances with your Chongshan Academy. Why did you come to visit me? Smile lightly. Yelaki, the reason why Pandeo came here is to tell you. You, Zhou Pihong, the king of the south court of Liao Kingdom, infected the dragon veins of the Song dynasty, causing the earth dragon to turn over, causing countless deaths and injuries, and his sins are serious. Pandeo is the protector of the country of the Song dynasty. The duty is unavoidable, so I have killed this beast in Dayun Mountain. Yelaki's expression changed drastically, but when he heard the next words, he became even more furious. In addition, the 7 southern states of the Liao Kingdom are the ancestral land of my human race, so I also took them away. Su Junming, you are so brave, our country, Liao. Before he could finish his words, he saw the huge energy and blood and the vast magic power instantly transformed into the tyrannical sword energy. Pan Tuo Divine Sword. Under the majestic voice, the color of the world changed. The sharp sword energy is like a vast ocean, like lightning and thunder, so vast and powerful that it has the power to split seas and rivers, and destroy mountains and mountains. Feeling the power of the sword energy, Yelaki was so shocked that he did not dare to neglect and changed his mind. The light shines brightly. A huge wolf with a height of several thousand feet and hair as thick as snow appeared in mid-air. The huge mouth opened, and the snow-white fangs were like mountains. The amber beast eyes revealed the ferocity of killing tens of thousands. Serious Xiao Yu. In an instant, the storm gathered thousands of miles away. The rolling wind blade turned into a huge wind pillar with a diameter of several thousand feet, reaching the sky and the earth. The hurricane that destroyed the heaven and earth tore through the void, even the space was shattered. The sword energy flew. Tisk. Accompanied by an earth-shattering sound of cracking silk, like a hot knife cutting butter, the earth-shattering wind pillar was instantly cut into two pieces. The sword energy is like the sea flowing across the sea, moving forward indomitably. Ouch! Amidst the shrill screams, blood rained down from the sky. The two front legs of the thousands-foot-long wolf were cut off directly. The powerful sword energy did not stop, and struck towards Tianlang Peak like lightning. Boom! He hit the mountain guard formation of Tianlang Mountain solidly. Shishi was heard repeatedly, light rain fell, and the two sides collided fiercely. After a long time, the formation shield exploded with a bang, but the sword energy also reached the end of its strength, leaving a huge sword mark on Tianlang Peak that went deep into the mountain, nearly 10,000 feet up and down, and then disappeared. Yeluqi retracted his original body, his two arms disappeared, and the natal Sarayan wolf flag next to him, which had become a top-grade immortal weapon, was also chopped into two pieces. Looking at the tall figure enveloped in tyrannical energy and mana in the distance, his face was full of fear. That shocking sword blow just now completely destroyed his courage. Who dares to act so recklessly in our Tianlang Mountain? The vast voice was full of majesty. In an instant, the wind and clouds surged in the sky, and the strong wind swept tens of thousands of miles across the sky. In the endless strong wind, a middle-aged man wearing a gorgeous black robe and a golden crown with a wolf head, a thin face, and narrow eyes, bathed in the strong wind, like a king, appeared in the air slowly but really quickly. Seeing the person coming, Yeluqi felt excited, as if he had found his backbone, and quickly flew over. Your Majesty, Su Junming went too far to deceive others. Not only did he kill the king of the southern court of Liao Kingdom, but he also wanted to seize the 7 southern states from me. After Yeludigwang nodded slightly, he looked at the green-robed Taoist with powerful magic power and soaring momentum in the distance, and couldn't help but feel a little cautious in his eyes. The other party's cultivation level is stronger than the legend. Su Zhenjun is also a Taoist master and a model in the righteous way. Why would he do such things as robbing other countries' land and subjects and killing other countries' monks? Haha, robbery. When these two words come out of your mouth, the emperor of the Liao Kingdom, it is really ridiculous. In the past thousands of years, haven't you robbed me in the Song dynasty? As for what the subjects said, it is even more ridiculous. In the territory of your demon clan, we, the human race, are despised as human pigs, and we are killed and robbed. How are we different from animals? Today I just took away the 7 states that are the land of my human race. How come you, a demon race, call it robbery? Besides, don't you monsters always talk about natural selection and survival of the fittest? When did you start talking about benevolence, justice, and morality? The merciless ridicule made Yeludigwang's eyes turn cold. But thinking of the tyrannical power of the sword just now, I had to take a deep breath and suppress my anger. As the emperor of the demon clan, he knows better than anyone else the law that strength is king. If you can't beat someone, you have to swallow your anger. But now under the gaze of tens of millions of monsters in Tianlang City, for the sake of his own prestige, there are some things he cannot agree to after all. At least not openly. True Lord, must you be in trouble with me and the Liao Kingdom? With a cold snort, there was a sound of sword clanging behind Su Junming, and the vast energy and blood instantly turned into sky-high sword energy. The sword in his right hand pointed forward, and the powerful sword energy rushed past like a long river of crimson sword energy. Feeling the awe-inspiring power of the sword energy, Yeludigwang did not dare to neglect it. A huge navy blue flag appeared in mid-air. This flag is very similar to Yeluqi's natal Sirius flag, but it is filled with a strong innate wind power. As the flag swayed, a tornado that was even bigger than the previous one when Yeluqi activated it appeared in mid-air. The wildly dancing tornado caused a roar like thunder from the sky. It was like two giant dragons crashing into each other. The surging sword energy, Like a giant axe that splits the sky, moves forward inexorably. The rolling tornado is like a huge shield, rising and dying. The fight lasted for a long time before gradually dissipating. Su Junming was still standing where he was, while Yellow Diguang had already retreated to the top of Tianlang Peak. The victory or defeat of both sides is clear at a glance. Standing with his hands behind his back, he looked at the navy blue flag above Yellow Diguang's head with interest. It is indeed an innate spiritual treasure, with extraordinary power. He glanced at the wary Yellow Diguang lightly. He was not ready to completely wipe out the Liao kingdom. After the purpose of deterrence was achieved, he would not stay any longer. The body transformed into the escaping light and flew towards the south. In the future, Dayun Mountain will be the border between Chongshan Academy and the Liao Kingdom. Anyone who enters without warning will be killed. The voice lingered for a long time. Yellow Diguang took a deep breath, raised his right palm and saw a deep sword mark that almost cut off the palm. What a strong sword spirit! Yellowkey flew over and had already connected the two broken arms. He just wanted to restore his original form, but it was difficult to do so in a short time. Your Majesty, are you okay? It's nothing serious, I just didn't expect Su Junming's strength to be much stronger than the rumors. Yellowkey nodded in agreement, but now he still felt uneasy when he thought about the sword strike before. Are we really going to assign the 7 southern states to him? Yeluda's smooth face trembled and he sighed. He is right. In this world, strength is the most important thing after all. With the strength shown by his sword, even if you and I join forces, we may not be able to win. So what if we don't give it to him? Damn it, if this happens, the strength of our Liao kingdom will be severely damaged. The dragon vein of the Song dynasty was finally weakened, and the advantage it had was offset by the division of the 7 southern states and the death of Zhou Pihong. Yellow Diguang pondered for a moment. The 7 southern states are all human race, and they are destined not to integrate into our demon race. As a demon, Zhou Pihong is not of the same mind as our demon race. Without them, although our Liao kingdom's strength will decline in a short period of time, it will also clear up our internal affairs. The unstable factors are not all bad. What your Majesty said is reasonable, but without Zhou Pihong and the 7 southern states, we also lose a useful thug. Yellow Diguang nodded. No matter how he thought about it, the separation of the 7 southern states and the death of Zhou Pihong would greatly weaken the strength of the Liao kingdom. But they all understand that as long as Su Junming is here, the 7 southern states cannot get it back. Turned. You immediately mobilized our spies in the Song dynasty to spread the news that Chongshan Academy has obtained the 7 states in the southern Liao kingdom, and instigated the Song dynasty to rob Chongshan Academy. Isn't Su Junming the Song dynasty's Guo Daijun? This time I will see how he gets along with Songguo. With the weak strength of the kings and ministers of the Song dynasty, can they still compete with Su Junming? Yellowkey asked in surprise. Haha, Zhao Ji is a foolish king, and a foolish king is always an outsider in foreign wars and an expert in civil wars. What's more, behind him, there are 3 golden immortals, Zhao Quangayan, Zhao Piyu, and Yang Ye, supporting him. He is very confident. Yellowkey looked happy. With Su Junming's nature, he will definitely not hand over the 7 states. Then there will be a conflict between the Song dynasty and Chongshan Academy. Your Majesty's move is indeed a good strategy. With the restraint of the Song state, it can also slow down the development of Chongshan Academy and buy time to destroy it in the future. Yeluda's eyes were as cold as a knife. He was never one to give in easily. Also, make an appointment for me with Wanyan Zonghan and Wanyan Zhan of the Jin Kingdom. They are both demon clans. We can still help each other with some things. Yellow Qi nodded. Although he had reached the golden immortal level, when it came to planning, he was still far inferior to Yellow Diguang. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 764. Chapter 745, Huizong was furious. Cai Jing went to Yunzong. The news that Chongshan Academy swept through the 7 southern states of Liao Kingdom was like a hurricane, blowing over Chixi and Shenzhou at an alarming speed. Just when everyone was eagerly waiting for the decisive battle between Chongshan Academy and the Liao Kingdom, and the battle between Chongshan True Lord Su Junming and Yellow Diguang, Yellow Qi, and Zhou Pihong. The news came that Zhou Pihong had died in the battle at Dayun Mountain. It took Chongshan Academy less than a month to completely wipe out the demonic forces in the 7 southern states of Liao Kingdom. The border between the two sides was divided by Dayun Mountain, with the northern part belonging to the Liao Kingdom and the southern part belonging to Chongshan Academy. When the news spread, the world was in an uproar. The powerful strength that Chongshan Academy burst out made all the forces in the world look at it with suspicion. They don't look like a sect that has only been established for more than 10 years. Even Chunyang sect and Kongtong sect, 2 sects that have been established for tens of thousands of years, cannot do this. After the shock, the situation in the world became strange. Because with the Chongshan Academy in the 3 northern counties of the Song dynasty, plus the land of the 7 states of the Liao Kingdom, it seemed to be nearly a quarter of the size of the Song Kingdom. Although the population is small, there are still as many as 3 to 400 billion on the surface. It is completely beyond the scope of a sect, and with the powerful golden immortal Su Junming sitting in charge, it already has the foundation to become a country. Therefore, there were countless voices within the Song dynasty calling Chongshan Academy the 6th largest country in the world. Although everyone knew that someone must be behind this, neither the Song state nor the major sects intervened. A strange calm enveloped the Song kingdom and all the great sects. Xiang Cai, you originally suggested that the fiefdom of Chongshan Academy be moved to the northern border to serve as a barrier for our Song dynasty and resist the southward movement of the Liao kingdom. But now that Chongshan Academy has taken the opportunity to expand, you can't come up with a feasible solution. Countermeasures, Zhao Ji said angrily. Cai Jing knew His Majesty the Emperor very well. What bothered him was not that Chongshan Academy took the opportunity to grow bigger, but that such a good opportunity to expand territory and increase its reputation did not fall on him. Even if the 7 states were declared to belong to the Song dynasty on the surface, they were actually controlled by Chongshan Academy. But until now, there is no news at all from Chongshan Academy. How could Zhao Ji not be angry as he saw Ming Junmen getting further and further away? Because of his understanding, Cai Jing knew how to appease the Lord. Your Majesty, please calm down. Chongshan Academy is our Taoist gate of the Great Song dynasty, and true Lord Chongshan is our Taoist Lord of the Great Song dynasty who protects the country. He has no objection. It must be because of clearing away the remnants of the demonic path in the 7 states, and this delayed the entrance. Beijing reports meritorious service. After saying that, he bowed. I am willing to go to Yunzong City in person to convince Su Zhenjun to dedicate the 7 states of Liao to your Majesty. Zhao Ji turned from anger to joy. Is Grand Master confident? Your Majesty, I am 90% sure. Good. Zhao Ji patted the dragon chair. I designate you as the Goodwill Ambassador and set off immediately for Yunzong City. Wei Chen obeys your orders. After receiving the Emperor's order, Cai Jing returned home. After getting the news, several party members quickly came to the door. Grand Master, is your Majesty's summons for the 7 southern states of Liao? Liang Xishan asked. Cai Jing glanced at him and nodded. I have accepted the Emperor's order and will rush to Yunzong soon to persuade Chongshan Academy to hand over the 7 states to the Imperial Court. Several people looked at each other and Tong Guan said, Grand Master, how can you vomit out the food you eat at Chongshan Academy? This mission will definitely be difficult to succeed. How can you accept it? Yes, teacher. If your Majesty blames me, it will probably be detrimental to the teacher, Zhu Meng advised. After sweeping his calm eyes over the 3 of them, Cai Jing smiled faintly. You know that your majesty is a man who loves success and is capricious. If I don't agree to this mission, I will not escape the fate of being punished. After all, I was the one who proposed to seal Chongshan Academy on the border of Song and Liao. Is the Grand Master confident in persuading Chongshan Academy to spit out Kizhu? Tong Guan asked. Haha, how can you vomit out something you eat? Then you. What your majesty wants is just a false name that the 7 states belong to the Song dynasty. With this false name, he is the wise king of the Song dynasty, a great emperor second only to Taizhu, and will remain in the annals of history forever. Cai Jing's tone was a little more sarcastic. After shaking his head. As long as you pay a certain price, I believe Su Zhenjun is still willing to give me some noodles. The 3 of them didn't ask what the price was. The price to impress Chongshan Academy was by no means a small amount, but a lot. I never thought that Su Zhenjun was so powerful. Not only could he kill Zhou Pihong, the king of the southern court of Liao Kingdom, but he could also defeat Yellow Diguang and Yellow Qi and cede the 7 southern states. It is really amazing. Tong Guan sighed. As a privy envoy, although he obtained this high position by currying favor with Cai Jing, his own strength should not be underestimated. Now he is a monk in the middle stage of Xianxian. Precisely because of his strong strength, he understood more and more how difficult it was to become a golden immortal and defeat the 3 golden immortals. After hearing this, the others all fell silent. When Su Junming defeated the master of the Shangsan cave in Nanzhao, everyone knew that his strength was amazing, but they didn't feel deeply about it. Because thousands of years ago, a battle for the innate spiritual roots caused heavy losses to the Nanzhao kingdom, and they had been recuperating. On the contrary, the Jin and Liao countries made frequent moves, which made the Song dynasty unable to lift its head. Therefore, the shock brought by defeating the 3 golden immortals of Liao Kingdom was particularly shocking. What's more, Su Junming and his Chongshan Academy also killed Zhou Pihong, the magic golden immortal, and seized the 7 southern states of Liao Kingdom in one fell swoop. After a long time. Xiao Dao. What are the instructions from the Grand Master? Liang Xishan asked quickly. Go to Longtig and make a copy of all the royal books. Yes. Huashi. Teacher, please give me your instructions. Zhu Meng bowed and said. Take my handwriting and go to the palace to find Li Yan. Take 1 copy of each of the spiritual roots and elixirs collected in Huiyang Palace. If there is only 1 plant, break off the branches. Students obey. Dolph. Tong Guan looked over. It is already difficult for the Liao Kingdom to cross Dayun Mountain, so there is no need for the Swide Army, Baoan Army, and Dingbian Army to stay in Zhuofang County. Pull them back, streamline them, and strengthen the defense of Shang County. It is just in time for your majesty to build the Huafang County. In Yang Palace, the household department is tight, so you can save a lot of silver. Tong Guan's face changed slightly. The Swide Army, Baoan Army, and Dingbian Army were placed in Zhuofang County, and they were on guard not only for the Liao Kingdom, but also for Zixia. If it was just because of the Liao Kingdom, it would be enough to directly abolish the Swide Army. Now that the 3 armies have been withdrawn, Zhuofang County is like a naked woman who can only be ravaged by others. And this person who is qualified to ravage is definitely not Zixia. Looking at Cai Jing's eyes as deep as the abyss, Tong Guan understood that Zhuofang County was the old boss's trump card to convince Chongshan Academy. I understand, does he dare to disobey? The Grand Master is wise, I will take care of it immediately. After nodding with satisfaction, as ministers, we must learn to share His Majesty's worries at all times. The Grand Master is truly a role model for us. Inside the Chongshan residence, Su Junming, Dragon Emperor, and Tai Zhenjun were sitting cross-legged. Gudu took a sip of wine, and a look of enjoyment appeared on Zhenjun Tai's face. Most of the monks who have become immortals in the 6 paths of the demon sect have been captured by me and the 3rd child. The rest are left to the juniors, just so they can experience and gain insights. None of the three people had any objections to this. They all understand that excessive protection will only breed waste, and survival of the fittest is the basis for prosperity. My dear, after swallowing up the 7 southern states of the Liao Kingdom, the area occupied by our Chongshan Academy has become second only to Xixia. The relationship with the Song Kingdom has also become more subtle. Now, the entire Qi County Shenzhou's major forces, it all depends on what we choose. Su Junming nodded. How do you think we should choose? Haha, it doesn't matter. War or peace, our strength is enough, Tai Zhenjun said. He looked at the Dragon Emperor. After thinking for a moment, he said, I still don't think it's easy to get too stalemate with the Song dynasty too early. It won't do us any good. If we have 100 years to digest the internal situation, it won't be too late to become independent. However, if they plan to become popular, it's another matter to take away the 7 states from our hands with white teeth. Just as Su Junming was about to speak, the human soul door suddenly shook. With a flick of the finger, the figure of the Golden Needle Virgin appeared in front of the three people. Since Su Junming preached, she has come from the Shushan world to the upper world and presided over the system construction of the entire Shenzhou Chongshan Academy in Qi County. The 3 immortals of Qiluo Lining, Zhoulang, and Yangda are responsible for the establishment of the teaching system of Chongshan Academy within Shushan's small world. Greetings to Master, 3rd Junior Uncle and 5th Junior Uncle. After nodding his head, Su Junming said, Jinzhen, why are you here? Teacher, Cai Jing, the Grand Master of Song Dynasty, came to Yunzong City and asked to see the teacher. Haha, that fellow Zhao Ji is unwilling to be lonely after all, Tai said with a smile. Cai Jing is not stupid. If he is not sure, he will not come to the door. So, I would like to hear how he wants to persuade us, Long Emperor said. Of course Su Junming was also very curious. You release the formation and take them to Yunzong City for resettlement. I will go see him then. Disciple, obey. The Holy Mother of the Golden Needle, who came here incarnation, made a hand seal and disappeared instantly. After summoning the human soul gate, Su Junming turned around and smiled. Let's go and listen to what Cai Jing has to say. After the three people nodded, the figures of Tai Zhenjun and Dragon Emperor disappeared instantly. Their true bodies are located in the 3 counties of Chongshan and Qizhou, and the ones here are just clones. Su Junming's heart moved, and a figure came out of his body. With a finger, the celestial elephant gate appeared, and the clone stepped into it and quickly disappeared. It was just a meeting, there was no need for him to go there in person. When I got up and walked into Tiangong Hall, I was instantly surrounded by the fiery heat. He activated the bronze mirror in his danchan and looked at the 1 UN lotus furnace floating in the purple fire in the furnace. A trace of medicinal energy gradually became stronger. It's still a little short of heat. This is the first batch of Tai level elixir he has refined, and it is worth being cautious. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 765. Cai Jing looked out the window with his hands behind his hands. The lush green bamboos were swaying in the wind, and the sunlight passed through the gaps formed by the intertwined branches and leaves, casting pearl-like spots of light on the peonies blooming nearby. Occasionally falling petals, swirling in the breeze, flew to the lotus pond not far away, attracting a pond of koi carp to chase. The blooming lotus, with its snow-white petals, looks particularly holy under the dazzling sun. The elegant lotus fragrance tempts the bees who don't know where they come from, rising and falling, moving and still. This elegant scenery, in ordinary times, might make him feel a little poetic. But today I have no interest. I originally thought I could see all kinds of life in Yunzong County, but I was brought here directly without thinking, Cai Jing thought to himself. Since Chongshan Academy took over the three counties of Yanmen, Yunzong, and Wuyuan, it has used formations to seal off the borders of the three counties. No matter whether they are refugees or casual cultivators, they can only enter and not leave. Whenever the spies sent by the Imperial City Division come in, they are never heard from again. Therefore, Cai Jing is very curious, what are these three counties like under the management of Chongshan Academy? As a result, as soon as he arrived at the border of Yunzong and reported his home address, he was picked up here by people from Chongshan Academy. Several times he proposed to go out, but was stopped by people from Chongshan Academy in the name of safety. However, the followers under his command went out for a walk. When I come back, I will tell you that Yunzong City is the same as Bianliang City, only more stable and nothing strange. However, Cai Jing did not believe it. If it is just to be more stable and prosperous, there is no need to set up formations at the border to isolate the inside and outside. Thinking about it, it must be that his disciples are not cultivated enough, either they were confused by others, or they did not see the real Yunzong city at all. Shaked his head. If you didn't see it, you didn't see it. The important thing is to discuss with Su Junming the issue of the ownership of the 7 states. With a thought in his heart, he turned his head and looked towards the door. The guards he brought were walking with a beautiful female nun in a white dress. Cai Jing knew each other. Chiu's Hixian claims to be a third-generation disciple of Chongshan, and his master is Our Lady of the Golden Needle, the headmaster of Chongshan Academy. Cai Jing is no stranger to Our Lady of the Golden Needle. She claimed to be a registered disciple of Su Junming, who was in charge of the general affairs of Chongshan Academy. The last time the court handed over the victims of the disaster to Chongshan Academy, she was the one who came forward to contact them. The latter's shrewdness, intelligence, determination, and advanced cultivation left a deep impression on him. Chiu's Hixian has met the Grand Master. Excuse me, but Su Zhenjun is back. Exactly. Master asked me to come and inform the Grand Master. If the Grand Master is free, he can come with me to see him immediately. I have time, I have time. Fairy can lead the way. Chiu's Hixian nodded. By chance, she became a disciple of Chongshan and was accepted as a disciple by her mentor, Our Lady of the Golden Needle. Nearly 3 decades have passed. In the past 3 decades, her cultivation has reached the middle stage of heavenly immortality. Although she is not as good as senior sister Shenrulan and other geniuses who have been passed down from her sect, her cultivation speed is not slow among her peers. In addition, she has been assisting her mentor in handling the various affairs of the academy. After more than 100 years of experience, she is no longer the weakling she was back then. Cai Jing was led all the way out of the guest room and to the inner courtyard of Yunzong main campus of Chongshan Academy. Following a long corridor and turning into the backyard, a tall hall with cornices and brackets, surrounded by streams, appears in front of you. Grand Master, please wait a moment again, I will go and make a report. Fairy please. After nodding, Chiu's Hixian took a few steps forward, turned the corner of the room, and stepped in. In the vast hall, Master Su Junming sat in the upper position. Master and Our Lady of Golden Needle sit beside him. Taking a breath, he came to the court and stood still, bowing slightly. Master, Grand Master Cai brings you here. Let him come in, Su Junming said. Hearing this, Cai Jing, who was standing outside the door, straightened his clothes and walked in. Looking at Su Junming who was sitting high on the table, he did not dare to neglect and quickly saluted with clasped fists. Cai Yuan Chang pays homage to the true king and wishes him eternal blessings and a long life. Master, you're welcome. Please sit down. Thank you, Zhenjun. Ji Xian, serve tea to the Grand Master. Yes. After serving the tea prepared earlier, the Grand Master has come to visit from thousands of miles away. I don't know why. Reporting back to the true king, His Majesty Huizong learned that the true king killed the culprit who destroyed the dragon vein of the Song dynasty, Zhou Pihong, the king of the south court of the Liao kingdom, defeated Yelu Diguang, the lord of Liao, and Yelu Qi, the king of the north court, and captured the 7 southern states of the Liao kingdom. After the hundreds of millions of people of the Song dynasty who died in the Earth Dragon's stand were avenged, they were very happy and repeatedly praised the true king for being worthy of being an official minister of the country. Therefore, I specially made a copy of all the books in Longtag, and divided all the spiritual roots and elixirs in Huayang Palace into one, and asked me to bring them and give them to the true Lord as a reward. After saying this, he took off a magic bag from his waist and handed it to Chiu's Hixian. The latter was brought to Su Junming. When he opened it, he found that there were nearly 10,000 jade boxes of various sizes inside. Half of the jade boxes contained jade slips arranged neatly into categories, while the other jade boxes contained various immortal root elixirs. Cai Jing was not stupid, he knew that he looked down on ordinary spiritual root herbs, so all the ones he brought were of the big cave grade or above. The spiritual grass at the level of a large cave can at least produce the spiritual elixir that a nascent soul cultivator needs. With a faint smile, it was obvious that Cai Jing liked him and knew that he liked spiritual roots and collecting books, so he brought this gift. Put away the magic bag and put it on the table next to you for now. Your Majesty is interested? After Cai Jing smiled respectfully, he put his right hand into his sleeve, and when he took it out, there was a bronze tripod in his hand. This bronze tripod is about the size of an adult's palm, with 4 legs and 2 ears. The decoration is very simple, but it is indeed a low-grade fairy weapon with 2 restrictions. After just one glance, Su Junming understood that this was an immortal weapon with sealing effect. He was willing to use the immortal weapon to seal it, which made him somewhat interested in the things inside. Cai Jing held the bronze tripod with both hands and looked respectful. I have listened to Zhenjun's teachings many times, and I am extremely grateful. However, I have never had the opportunity to express my gratitude. Now Yuan Chang has obtained a wonderful object. I would like to express my gratitude and hope that Zhenjun will accept it. Chiu's Hixian stepped forward, ready to take it. Be careful, fairy, this thing is a bit heavy. Thank you, master, for reminding me. Taking it with both hands, a heavy feeling came into my heart. Frowning slightly. If Cai Jing hadn't reminded him and took it over hastily, I'm afraid there would have been some jokes. Curiously, he glanced at the cauldron, and a white mist came into view. This mist floats on top in a thin layer, and there is more space below. But it was obscured by the fog, making it hazy and difficult to see clearly. She wanted to use her spiritual sense to spy on him, but with her master and grandmaster sitting next to her, she didn't dare to act recklessly. Master. Su Junming was physically strong, and although the golden tripod weighed thousands of kilograms, it was as light as a feather in his hands. Huh! With a wave of his right hand, the seal on the golden tripod was instantly broken. Cai Jing saw this in his eyes and was secretly frightened. After all, the bronze tripod is also an immortal weapon. The internal seal is so powerful that it can be broken by waving your hand without opening the magic. This magic power is too powerful. The supreme golden immortal is truly extraordinary. A black mysterious light soared into the sky from the copper tripod. Su Junming stretched out his hand, and the mysterious light fell into his palm, turning into a black lump about the size of an apple, shaped like an olive, and somewhat shriveled. If you look closely, you can see that there are traces of texture on this hard piece, like leather. In addition, this thing seems small and a little ugly, but it is swallowing up the surrounding aura all the time. Subconsciously touching it with his spiritual consciousness, he was sucked in instantly. an endless darkness reflected into the sea of consciousness, and no matter how much his spiritual consciousness explored, it was difficult to see the boundary. More importantly, the spiritual consciousness he sent in became less and less, and in the end it was gradually swallowed up by darkness. Contains a spiritual object that swallows Tao Yun. Subconsciously urging the bronze mirror, under the strong mirror light, the mysterious veil of this dark space was lifted. Inside the black lump that looks no more than the size of an apple, there is actually a huge space that stretches hundreds of millions of miles across. There is no light in the entire space. At the center of space is a small black hole. The outer darkness is like the white of an egg, and the black hole in the center is like the yolk. However, the devouring Daoyun emanating from the central black hole is thousands of times greater than the darkness outside. Xiantian Tai Chi swallows the fundamental energy. The moment he saw the black hole, Su Junming instantly recognized its nature. He is no stranger to this kind of innate aura that contains the fundamental spiritual energy that swallows up the Tao Yun. Tai Zhenjun was born from the three innate Tai Chi devouring the fundamental energy, coupled with the rich creation spiritual energy in the 9 apertures divine stone. The innate magical power of swallowing the sky and the earth is extremely powerful. But the innate Taiji here swallows more fundamental chi than Tai's, a total of 7. All practitioners in the world, whether they are demon practitioners or Buddhists, including martial arts, are actually all chi practitioners. It's just that the way anger is expressed is different. Demonic cultivators use demon elixirs, Buddhist cultivators and demonic cultivators use relics, martial arts uses chi and blood, and Taoism has 2 types, golden elixirs and talismans. But no matter what it is, the core thing is chi. The more refined and pure the chi, the higher the level, the more Tao principles can be imprinted, and the stronger the cultivation level will naturally be. After the monk completes the foundation building and advances to the innate level, he will be able to form a trace of the innate Taisu fundamental energy in the Danshan, and then every time he advances to a small level, there will be an extra trace. After accumulating 12 threads, you will be innately perfect, and you can consider overcoming tribulations and advancing to the golden elixir. If it goes well, these 12 strands of innate Taisu fundamental energy will transform into one strand. 12 strands are put together to achieve the perfection of the golden elixir. If it survives another catastrophe, the 12 strands of innate air will become one. Possessing an innate Taisu fundamental energy, he is the nascent soul monk who flies into the sky and escapes from the earth. If one can gather together the 12 innate chi, they will be able to form one after surviving the catastrophe. This is the foundation of all transformations and the realm of the divine spirit that has no rules or directions. If you can accumulate 12 and survive the catastrophe, it will be a big change. Commonly known as immortal. The foundation of immortality is the 12 innate Taisu fundamental chi, which are condensed into a trace of innate Taishi fundamental chi under the continuous polishing of the heavenly tribulation. Nowadays, Su Junming's magic power cultivation is in the late stage of Jingxian, and he has 9 innate Taishi fundamental chi. In addition, he is a high-ranking military commander, perfect, so he has 12 drops of Taishi blood. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 766. Chapter 747, The Supreme Treasure, Daodi Inner Elixir. The higher the level of Taishi's fundamental chi is, the Taisu level corresponds to Tai Immortal Dao. The higher the Taisu level is, the Tai Chi level. If Su Junming guessed correctly, this level of fundamental energy corresponds to Deluo Immortal Dao. The 9 innate Tai Chi fundamental chi are a state that Su Junming cannot imagine. A supreme realm that truly possesses great power and great magic power. From this we can see how precious the 7 innate Tai Chi swallowing up the fundamental Chi are. Moreover, although the charm of the devouring Dao contained in these 7 fundamental Chi is not as detailed as the innate spiritual treasure, it can still allow Zhenjun Tai, who practices the devouring Dao, to go one step further. This thing is so precious. Definitely from outside Qi County, China. Seeing Su Junming just staring at the black lump flying out of the copper tripod, there was no joy or anger in his eyes. Cai Jing felt slightly uneasy. This black lump was bribed to him by a foreign official a few years ago. It's a pity that after many years of study, I still haven't figured out why. But it is able to swallow spiritual energy, and it contains the charm of swallowing, coupled with the boundless darkness inside. It is not an ordinary thing no matter how you look at it. That's why I gave it to Su Junming as a gift. After all, the latter is a golden immortal. He is not interested in high-grade immortal materials, and he is reluctant to give away top-grade immortal materials. This useless, unclear, and mysterious black lump is just right. After taking a slight breath and suppressing the excitement in his heart, he patted the gourd on his waist and put the black lump in. Although he would be in debt to Cai Jing because of this, Su Junming couldn't care less. This thing is so precious. Falling into the hands of true Lord Tai can save him hundreds of millions of years of hard work. Return the bronze tripod to Cai Jing. The master is very thoughtful. I like this rare thing very much. It is the blessing of this younger generation that the true Lord likes you. Cai Jing, who originally planned to send the tripod back in one piece, didn't have much to say at this moment. Just as he was about to put it away, his heart suddenly moved and he turned around and placed it on the table next to him. Seeing this, Su Junming didn't say much. Cai Jing, who had already laid a lot of groundwork, organized his words and then spoke directly from his heart. I dare to ask Zhenjun, what will happen to the 7 states of Liao and the Chongshan lineage? After secretly saying sure enough. These 7 states are the spoils that our Chongshan Academy obtained from the Liao Kingdom, and they will naturally be placed under the jurisdiction of our academy. Cai Jing, who had expected this for a long time, did not change his expression. True Lord, after all, Chongshan Academy is our daemon of the Song dynasty, and the 3 counties and fiefdoms of Yanmen, Yunzong, and Wuyuan belonging to your sect are also our land of the Song dynasty. In this case, should these 7 states also be counted as our Taoist gate? Song territory. Su Junming smiled lightly and was not angry. The Song dynasty wants to take away the land of Kizhu from my Chongshan sect without sending a single soldier. Is it too good to think too well? Or does your majesty think that poor people are easy to bully? My true lord, please do not misunderstand me. Your majesty has absolutely no such intention. He quickly stood up and explained, Your majesty just hopes that the true king can recognize that these 7 states belong to the Song dynasty. As for the jurisdiction, it is still in the hands of Chongshan Academy, and the imperial court will not interfere. Su Junming understood immediately. This is just a name, not real power. It's in line with Zhao Ji's nature. If the Chongshan lineage agrees to this condition, what reward will the imperial court give? After all, this is also a contribution to the expansion of territory. Hearing this, Cai Jing threw out the trump card he had prepared long ago. Reporting to the true lord, I have asked the Privy Councillor Tong Guan to withdraw the Swide Army, Baoan Army, and Dingbian Army stationed in Shuofang County. In the future, Chongshan Academy can freely preach in it, and the imperial court will not interfere. Su Junming's eyes narrowed. He just asked casually. He never thought that Cai Jing really offered him an offer that he could not refuse. The area of Shuofang County is twice that of Wuyuan County. Although it is also a border county and has a small population, it still has a population of tens of billions. And compared to Wuyuan, Yunzong and Yanmen, the Zhou River flows through the entire Song dynasty and runs through the entire Shuofang. The abundant water irrigates a large area of land and makes this place an extremely wealthy place among the frontier counties. If we can capture Shuofang County, it will undoubtedly further strengthen the strength of Chongshan Academy. Is this the intention of His Majesty or the intention of the Grand Master? Your Majesty is so high up that he naturally won't care about such trivial matters. Cai Jing was smiling, with confidence in his eyes. True Lord, don't worry. As long as this junior is in the court, no one will dare to comment on the affairs of Shuofang County. What if you leave the court? Su Junming said calmly. I believe that at that time, the strength of the Chongshan lineage was already different from what it used to be, and the true king was strong enough to cope with all the questions, including the Tai who stayed deep in the Yanshan mountain, in the cave sky, and didn't know whether he was dead or alive. Ancestor Emperor. Cai Jing's boldness was beyond his expectation. He dared to allocate a large county to Chongshan Academy without any court discussion and without telling the emperor. As expected, he was worthy of being the leader of the Six Thieves and the prime minister of the Song dynasty who could dominate the world. If everything is as you said, I will dedicate the land of the 7 states to the imperial court. Cai Jing was overjoyed. Thank you, true lord, for making this happen. My careful planning was not in vain, this matter was finally accomplished. There is one more thing I hope the true lord can be merciful about. What's the matter? All matters in Shuofang County can be decided by the true lord. The only thing I hope is that the Chongshan lineage will not set up formations in Shuofang County to block the inside and outside. Otherwise, it will be so obvious that even the younger generation will have difficulty in dealing with the court. After gaining face, Su Junming was happy to return it to Cai Jing. Everything is as you said. Thank you, true lord, for your permission. I have a few grandchildren in my family who are quite qualified. I wonder if they can become disciples of Chongshan and listen to their teachings. You're practicing under Chongshan sect, and you're not allowed to walk down the mountain without the golden elixir of enlightenment. Are you willing to do that? Su Junming said with a smile. Cultivation is a long and arduous task, so I'm naturally willing to do it. After nodding slightly, as long as they can pass the entry test of Chongshan Academy, they can come here to practice. Thank you, Zhenjun. You are welcome. After a few brief exchanges, he asked Chu's Hixian to send him out. Looking at the retreating figure, Our Lady of the Golden Needle Shi Liun shook her head. With such a prime minister in the Song dynasty, it seems that the country's demise is not far away. The change of dynasties is normal. Besides, the Song dynasty also inherited from Daxia. Shi Liun nodded and said, Teacher, this person is extremely treacherous. Why did you agree to let his children join my Chongshan sect? There are many members of the Cai family, but not all of them are as cunning as him. His younger brother Cai Bian is a rare person who is honest and upright. Moreover, my Chongshan lineage has its own rules. If you want to get started, you must first pass through the human soul divine gate. Let's talk about the test. After finishing his words, he waved his right hand, and the bronze tripod left by Cai Jing on the table flew to the front of the Golden Needle Lady. Didn't Nangu just break through to the fairyland? Let's give her this cauldron as a congratulatory gift. Disciple took her to thank the teacher. In these years of sitting in Chongshan Academy, Holy Mother Golden Needle was only a registered disciple, but she had managed the academy for many years and worked diligently, so she was given many elixirs by Su Junming, and her cultivation level improved quickly. In order to facilitate the management of the academy, we usually accept a few disciples who are slightly less qualified but have excellent understanding and perseverance and have no chance to pass on directly. Among them, Zhang Nang ranked third, with Shen Rulan and Chu's Hixian at the top, and Shi Hui, the granddaughter of King Shixian at the bottom. His grandson Shi Qi became a disciple of Yangda, the 3 immortals of Qi and Lu. After Chongshan Academy replaced Yimei and became the largest sect in the Shushan world, everything changed. After sending away the Holy Mother of the Golden Needle, Su Junming flicked his fingers, and the human soul divine gate appeared. Not long after, Tai Zhenjun, wearing a red Taoist robe and holding a wine gourd, walked out of it. My dear, we just separated and you miss me so soon. Too lazy to talk to him, he slapped the gourd on his waist, and the black lump he got from Cai Jing quickly flew over. Tai Zhenjun subconsciously grabbed it. What is so ugly? Before he finished speaking, his expression was stunned for a moment. Su Junming knew what this thing meant to him, so he didn't say much and let him explore on his own. After a long time. Ouch! With the extremely excited voice, Tai Zhenjun jumped 3 feet high. His fat face was red and his nose was sweating, as if he had drunk 10 kilograms of roasted knives. There was an extremely greedy green light in the long and narrow eyes. Ha ha! Amid laughter that was arrogant, proud, and extremely excited, Tai Zhenjun danced with joy, just like Fan Jin in the storybook who passed the exam. Su Jun clearly knew the importance of this thing, but he really couldn't bear the way Tai Zhenjun was now crazy and proud. Moving the bronze mirror, a cool mirror light shrouded Tai's head. In an instant, it was as if a basin of cold water was poured down on him. The fire of excitement was extinguished in an instant. A kind of calmness lay in the heart of Zhenjun Tai. The violent collision between the calm mood and the excited body almost caused Tai's soul to leave his body. After a few weird twists, it finally became normal. My dear, it's so rare to encounter such a shocking opportunity, can't you make me happy? You're a little too happy. Tell me, what is this thing? With the pure aura of the bronze mirror, Tai Zhenjun couldn't get excited even if he wanted to. Come and see. Tai Zhenjun activated his magic power. Roar. An overbearing roar that seemed to span time and space suddenly sounded in his ears. But see you. Infinite black light steamed up from the black lump. Accompanied by the extremely tyrannical devouring Dao Yun, a gigantic beast with a sheep body and a human face, tiger teeth, and human claws, and eyes as big as mountains under its armpits, emerged from the black mysterious light. Loud roars shook the eardrums. The huge evil spirit shakes the mind. Although it was just an illusion of breath, the ferocious power of the giant beast still made him, a golden immortal, unable to help but feel fear in his heart. Doubty. Su Junming said to himself. As soon as Tai Zhenjun gathered his magic power, the light converged, and Doubty's figure gradually disappeared. It's exactly Doubty, and it comes from the same origin as the Doubty skin we got. It obviously comes from the same Doubty. But compared to that skin, this Doubty inner elixir is the essence of its cultivation for hundreds of millions of years, and is precious for thousands of years. 100 times. The shriveled inner elixir in his hand was whirling in his hand, and Zhenjun Tai's face was full of love. With this treasure, he will no longer need to meditate hard every day to refine his chi for hundreds of millions of years. As long as he continues to comprehend the devouring Dao, his cultivation will continue to improve. A truly great opportunity. This thing is a treasure sent by Cai Jing. If you get it, you also owe this person karma. Please save his life in the future. Haha, keep it on me. Tai Zhenjun patted his chest and said. With this Doubty inner elixir, he would be willing to save his life, not to mention 3 lives. My dear, if nothing happens, I'll leave first. Seeing how impatient he was, Su Junming waved his hand. Grasping the inner elixir, True Lord Tai disappeared instantly. He couldn't wait to understand this important treasure. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 767. Chapter 748, 100 years later. The carriages and horses were racing, and the official road, which was 20 feet wide, was filled to the brim with pedestrians. A big purple-faced man riding a horse looked at the bustling scene around him, with no emotion or anger in his expression. To his left was an elegant old man wearing a green robe and a square hat, and to his right was a tall man with a long beard on his chin, a solemn expression, and a majestic look in his eyes. 100 old men. The 3 of them were riding horses, following the traveling businessmen. After entering Shuofang County, the scenery is really different. The old man in green robe looked at everything around him with interest. Zhongping, what is grown in the fields is yellow rice. Looking in the direction of the old man's finger, a sorghum plant nearly a foot tall, with golden ears and plump and round grains came into view. Exactly this. The half-hundred-year-old man nodded. Has Zhongping ever tasted the yellow rice? I've tasted it a few times. How is the taste? Spirit rice is naturally no better than ordinary things. Although it has little effect on monks who are above the innate world, for monks who are still building the foundation, the spiritual energy contained in this thing is warm and gentle, with very few impurities. It is more powerful than Huanjidan. A good foundation building thing. Disciples of Chongshan Academy often use this object, so even those with poor qualifications and poor understanding can use this object to practice martial arts and achieve innate talent. Looking at the endless sorghum fields on both sides of the street, separated by tall trees, the old man in green robe frowned. In this case, wouldn't all the disciples of Chongshan sect be innate? Chongshan Academy is divided into 4 levels: lower court, middle court, upper court, and general court. The graduation standard of the lower court is the Xiantian stage. The middle court is at the Golden Core realm, the upper court is at the Nascent Soul realm, and the main academy is at the Yuanshen realm. Take Shuofang County as an example. Each county has a lower court, a prefecture has a middle court, and a county has an upper court. Shuofang County has 32 prefectures and 497 counties. Shuofang County has blocked the Liao Kingdom from the north and the Zixia Kingdom from the west since Chongshan Academy. The population has recovered quickly. Now it has 30 billion people, at least 1/5 of which are disciples trained by Chongshan Academy. The words of the half-hundred-old man made the old man in green robe and the big man with purple face at the front change their expressions. Innate martial arts is the standard for becoming an elite soldier in the Song dynasty. If everything goes as he said just now, the war potential of Shuofang County will exceed that of the Song dynasty. My lord, we should promote the planting of yellow rice in various places in the Song dynasty as soon as possible, the old man in green robe said solemnly. It's useless. The half-hundred-year-old man shook his head. Since the emergence of yellow rice and its effectiveness became known to the world, Taoist sects such as Tianqi Dao, Shenxiao Dao, and even ministers have secretly obtained seeds and tried to plant them. However, both the yield and effectiveness are not as good as those of Chongshan Academy. Yellow rice is not even half as effective. And this thing cannot be grown in areas with sparse spiritual energy. It is impossible to promote it on a large scale like Shuofang County. Why is this? The purple-faced man frowned. Rice seeds are not good, 100 old men affirmed. The rice seeds planted by the disciples of Chongshan Academy are all distributed from the upper courtyard. They contain a little bit of the aura of creation. They naturally grow well and have great effects. But the aura of creation cannot be planted for a generation, it will disappear later. That's why the rice seeds I wait for are incomparable. Creation spiritual energy. Creation path. It is rumored that the Dao of creation techniques are taught in the upper court of Chongshan Academy, but the number of students who can enter the upper court is too small, and most of them are disciples of the inner sect of Chongshan Academy. The seal is tight, so I don't know whether it is true or not. The half-hundred-year-old man nodded and said, I never thought that Chongshan Academy had already laid such a solid foundation only 100 years after its establishment. Chongshan True Lord Su Junming is indeed a great talent, the old man in green robe sighed. 100 old men nodded in agreement. 100 years ago, when Su Junming, the true king of Chongshan, sent his disciple Yan Chixia, the bearded swordsman, to present to the court a map of the 7 southern states of Liao, the world was shocked and the prestige of the Song dynasty reached its peak. His Majesty Huizong relied on his achievements in opening up new territories and expanding his territory, becoming a wise king second only to Teju. In order to commend Chongshan Academy for its achievements, 1/3 of the 7 states of the Liao Kingdom, now the 3 roads and 49 counties in the north, became the fiefdom of Chongshan Academy. But in fact, the remaining counties, like Shuofang County, were officially the land of the imperial court, but in fact they had long become the racecourse of Chongshan Academy. It is only because Cai Jing and his party are covering up the matter in the government that the matter will not be exposed to the world. My lord, Chongshan Academy is our biggest threat to Zhou of the Song dynasty, and it is even more serious than the Jin and Liao dynasties. We need to take precautions early, the gray-haired old man said solemnly. The purple-faced man nodded. Both Jin and Liao were demon clans, so they naturally had no basis for ruling the human race. Moreover, their history of treating the human race as human pigs also made the Central Plains forces regard them as mortal enemies. Chongshan Academy is different, it is a human force itself. There is the golden immortal patriarch at the top, and hundreds of millions of disciples at the bottom to lay a solid foundation. Coupled with a complete set of systems, it already has the foundation for expansion and then domination of the world. While he was talking, a big city appeared in front of him. Compared with the county towns in the Song dynasty, this city not only has no city walls, but also covers a larger area. Looking along the road, you can see magnificent buildings 8 or 9 feet high and about 6 or 7 stories everywhere. Looking at the signs hanging outside, there are inns, wine shops, and all kinds of life businesses here, but there are no casinos or brothels. The wide street was crowded with people on both sides, making it bustling. It is rumored that there are many tall buildings over 100 feet in the Chongshan Academy fiefdom. It's a pity that they use formations to isolate the inside and outside. Non-Kongshan disciples are not allowed to enter, and I have no chance to see them. The purple-faced man pointed out his hand. What is that? The half-hundred-year-old man turned around and saw a carriage with no wheels and streamlined front and rear. There were really a lot of people coming out of it at this moment. That's a flying car. It contains inner space and can carry hundreds of people. It is driven by magic power and can travel thousands of miles a day. It is a unique magic weapon of Chongshan Academy. Chongshan Academy is called Taoism, but it is completely different from Central Plains Taoism, the old man in green robe said in surprise. What the Prime Minister said is exactly what the minister said. In the eyes of the minister, Chongshan Academy is not a Taoist sect at all, but more like a hodgepodge of hundreds of schools. It not only teaches the way of cultivation, but also the art of livestock farming, business management, and battlefield strategies for war, etc. And he is especially good at the art of mechanisms. Various creations including wooden cows, flying horses, flying chariots, and flying boats are widely used, said the half-hundred-year-old man. Is there a lower courtyard of Chongshan Academy here? Said the purple-faced man. Yes. Just to the east of the city. Take me to see it. The half-hundred-year-old man nodded and led the group to the east of the city. Compared to the bustling main street, which was crowded with merchants, the east of the city was sparsely populated and extremely quiet. Looking at the surrounding layout, it is obviously a place of residence. After walking along the straight road for more than 10 miles, the surrounding residential buildings gradually decreased, and tall trees and various flowers gradually increased. After reaching the end, our eyes suddenly opened up. A stone square with the size of more than 10 acres suddenly appeared in front of us. A 9-foot-long stone tablet was erected in the middle of the square, with justice written in red regular script. Chongshan Academy, Wuta County Lower Court. Walking around the stone monument, in front is a yellow wall, a high courtyard wall with grey tiles, and a vermilion gate embedded in it. Tall boxwoods are planted outside the courtyard wall. Under the autumn wind, the leaves sway with the wind, and the sound is like the ocean tide. Looking beyond the courtyard gate, you can vaguely see the endless majestic buildings in the distance. Why does this academy look so similar to a temple? The Lord's Dharma eyes are correct. This place was originally a large temple covering hundreds of acres, named Qingchan Temple. Later, after Chongshan Academy occupied Shuofang County, thousands of temples built by Buddhism here for thousands of years were uprooted. Nearly a billion monks were forced to return to secular life. Because of this matter, Xixia has repeatedly invaded Shuofang in the past 100 years, but they were severely defeated by Yu Xiang, the third-generation direct disciple of Chongshan Academy, and his younger brother Yu Fan. They almost even lost by D County. Having a high level of cultivation and leading soldiers in battle are two different things. Top talents who can command tens of millions of armies and attack cities are more precious than Xianxian. Qingzhong, the Yu family army under Chongshan Academy is no worse than your Zhong family. The Lord has given you too much praise. Although the half-hundred-year-old man spoke modestly, there was a sense of pride on his face. 5 generations of his Zhongshaihang family have served in the army, and there are as many as 100 outstanding generals. Compared with the sudden emergence of the Yu family army, headed by Yu He, Yu Xiang, Yu Fei, Yu Fan, and Yu Tang, the 5 fathers and sons were no worse. The only difference is that there are too many traitors in the Song dynasty, and countless people hold them back every time they fight. In contrast, the Yu family army was backed by Chongshan Academy. They were united and worked together to win many battles. Not only did Xixia, which was fighting in the west, dare not take the side, it also repeatedly defeated the Jin kingdom in the east. The Jin kingdom's Xianping Road prefecture and 10 counties were almost half occupied by Chongshan Academy. The purple-faced man observed his words and patted his shoulder. Don't worry, Qingzhong. When I return to the court, your Zhong family army will no longer have any constraints. Thank you, Your Majesty Teju. In his excitement, Zhong Shaiheng also forgot to hide the other party's identity. Fortunately, it's not as noisy as before, and we don't have to worry about the walls having ears. He waved his hand and looked at the college, which was bathed in sunshine and covered an area of hundreds of acres with nearly 100 eaves and brackets. Qingzhong, how many students are there here? All children over the age of 6 in Wuta County are here, so there are at least 3 million students here, or even more, Zhong Shaiheng said. This small college, which is only a few hundred acres in size, can accommodate so many people, the old man in green robe asked. It is rumored that the true lord of Chongshan, Su Junming, is proficient in Huishan Taoism, so there is a mustard space in every Chongshan Academy, which is 1,000 miles in size, and all the disciples practice in it. Therefore, it does not look big from the outside, but in reality there is nothing else inside. I see. It's a pity that my identity cannot be revealed, otherwise I would like to have a closer look. The old man in green robe shook his head and sighed. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 768. The big man in purple robe looked at the academy not far away, with a faint green light in his eyes, and the light just touched the courtyard door. Suddenly he was blocked by a tyrannical restriction. Immortal forbidden. The big man in purple robe was surprised. The only one who can block his magic eyes and magical powers is the immortal. Not wanting to give up, he activated his magic power, and his eyes suddenly became powerful, as if 2 powerful electric lights were shining directly on the lower courtyard of the academy. Buzz, in the invisible trembling, a series of immortal forbidden halls appeared. The aura above the lower courtyard was filled with bright light, and a verdant bamboo building appeared. This is an immortal formation suppressed by immortal weapons. The purple-robed man was secretly shocked. My lord, we came here hiding our identity. It's really hard to be discovered. It's better to leave first, the old man in green robe said. After taking a deep look at the bamboo tower with strong aura, the purple-robed man nodded, waved his sleeves, and the three figures disappeared instantly. Deep in the cave, in the courtyard where the dean was, Duan Ping, wearing a grey robe, opened his eyes. With a wave of his sleeves, a 3-foot-long water mirror emerged from nowhere. Everything within a dozen miles around the academy was invisible. Who touched the formation? After an inspection and finding nothing, he restrained his magic power. The water mirror also disappeared. Nearly 100 years have passed since he broke through the celestial realm, ascended to the upper realm, and was appointed to Wuta County as the dean of the lower court. Over the past 100 years, after seeing the unique model and rapidly growing strength of Chongshan Academy in Chixian Shenzhou, there were hundreds of monks who wanted to peep into the secrets of the cave world. But none of them were truly successful. He has gradually become accustomed to these people's overestimation of their abilities. It should be noted that even a cave world in the lower courtyard is itself an immortal weapon. And it's not just the immortal weapon, it's also connected with the other lower courtyard caves, middle courtyard caves and upper courtyard caves in the entire Shuofang County, forming a top-level immortal formation spanning an area of 200,000 miles. And this immortal formation is connected with the large formations in all the counties under the control of Chongshan Academy. It formed a huge formation spanning nearly 60 counties in the north, suppressed by thousands of immortal weapons, and spanning 40 million miles. This continuous giant formation is Su Junming's masterpiece in the past 100 years. The formation of any single county, with the support of hundreds of millions of Academy disciples, can withstand the golden immortal level monks. Extremely powerful. If the formation is fully deployed, even 10 golden immortals can block it. This is the ultimate formation he carefully sketched. And it is constantly strengthening as the area controlled by Chongshan Academy grows. When the entire world is under the control of the formation, it will be the time when Chongshan World annexes Chixian Shenzhou. Boom! The golden lotus opened, and thousands of black spears flew into the black gourd next to it like a torrent bursting from a dam. It took a full quarter of an hour to finish. Then another lotus opened, and what flew out were all black armors, equally endless. Swords, bows and arrows, flags, war drums, shields, and crossbows. Every time a lotus comes out, infinite weapons fly out. After filling 8 gourds of different colors, another nasturtium flew out of the Tiangong divine furnace. This time it was no longer a weapon, but an endless supply of bean-sized yellow elixirs. The huge amount of pills is like a vast ocean, there are probably no less than 10 million pills. After the last 2 nasturtiums flew out, they also contained elixirs. However, one is golden in color and covered with 3 color brilliance, the other is also golden in color but flashes with 5 colors. The 3 elixirs are similar in size, but the quantity of the latter 2 elixirs that flash with colored light is much less than that of the yellow elixirs. 5-color elixirs are much less common than 3-color elixirs. But even the smallest 5-color pill contains hundreds of thousands of pills. After looking at the last golden lotus in the Tiangong divine furnace, Su Junming exhaled and took back all the clones. With a wave of his sleeves, 11 gourds flew into the niches next to them and were placed in different categories. There was a flash of light, and the figure of the Dragon Emperor appeared beside him. How many elixirs and magic weapons have been refined in the past 100 years? 1 trillion, 10 trillion, I can't remember. Su Junming shook his head. As early as 100 years ago, his physical body reached its peak. After taking 2 pills of the Tai Ren Huang Dan made from the middle-grade Xiantianzigo fruit as the main medicine, my magic power also reached the golden immortal perfection. The 12 main cultivation methods have also reached the limit that the physical body and magic power can bear. Apart from occasionally taking time to study some auxiliary Taoist practices that interest me, I basically don't need to practice anymore. Therefore, he spent more energy on consolidating the foundation of Chongshan Academy. Over the past 100 years, Countless magic weapons and elixirs have been refined using the great power of the Tiangong Divine Furnace, a middle-grade innate spiritual treasure. Huang Yadan in the foundation building stage, with his current level of cultivation and alchemy, he could start with tens of millions of pills in one furnace. The 3 yellow pills used in the innate stage are 1 million pills per batch. The 5 yellow elixirs used in the golden elixir stage are 100,000 pills per batch. The same is basically true for magic weapons, but Su Junming spends most of his time refining standard magic weapons for the military and mass-producing them to save time. Occasionally, immortal weapons would be refined and rewarded to the disciples with superior qualifications in the academy. Such a huge amount of resources has undoubtedly accelerated the development of Chongshan Academy. 100 years is almost as good as other sects' 1,000 years. The popularization of education has also made countless talents, and geniuses emerge who should have lacked opportunities and were ordinary. In just 100 years, the number of direct disciples of Chongshan Academy doubled. There are already 20,000 disciples in Chixian Shenzhou and Lower Shushan who have broken through to the realm of immortals. Frequent refining of alchemy and weapon refining did not improve his weapon refining level, but it made him extremely proficient in the weapon refining techniques. The fire properties of the 3 spiritual fires of the Tiangong Divine Furnace, the changes in medicinal properties after adding or subtracting each flame, etc., are almost engraved in the bones. You are not in charge of Shuofang, so why did you suddenly come to me? Are those monks in the West unwilling to be lonely again? 70 years ago, after the old monk Kong Xiang was almost killed by your sword, they have always been honest. Saying that, the Dragon Emperor flicked his fingers. Ripples appeared in mid-air like water droplets on a lotus pond. Gradually a huge water mirror appeared, and the picture inside became clear. A big man with a purple face, an old man in a green robe, and a majestic-looking half-hundred-year-old man appeared on it. Zhao Kuangyan, Zhao Piyu, and Zhong Shiheng. Su Junming was a little surprised. They appeared in Shuofang City. Shuofang City is the largest market in Shuofang County facing practitioners. Not only the disciples of Chongshan Academy like to come here to trade. Even monks from many other countries and even overseas also like the strong cultivation atmosphere, open learning environment, and safe cultivation environment here. Placing the dojo here further intensifies the prosperity of Shuofang City. It also made it the most prosperous city in the northwest region. If it weren't for the lack of some foundation, it would be foreseeable to surpass Pengleifang City and become the number 1 in China in Qi County. Many of the elixirs and magical instruments refined by Su Junming flowed into the market. It seems that Zhao Kuangyan and Zhao Piyu are ready to go out and clean up the old mountains and rivers, Su Junming said thoughtfully. Aren't you afraid that after he sees the situation in Shuofang County, he will list us as the first target to be eradicated? No, picking the weakest persimmon first is what any wise person would choose, especially Zhao Kuangyan. Moreover, the descendants of his old Zhao family have become worse with each generation, and they have already destroyed the Zhao and Song dynasties. Wait. When he took back the political power from Zhao Ji, he realized that the world was no longer his. Compared to us, Tianxi Dao, Shenxiao Dao, Chunyang sect and Kongtong sect are more realistic threats. The Dragon Emperor nodded, then we will ignore it? Let them wander around Shuofang County. Let them wander, they won't be able to wander for long. With a wave of his hand, a talisman flew into the hands of the Dragon Emperor. When he opened it, a look of surprise appeared on his face. It clearly says Chao Gai has taken the birthday card. As Su Junming's spiritual body, the Dragon Emperor naturally understood the water margin and understood that Chao Gai's outsmarting of the birth chart was the beginning of Liangshan's glory. It was also the most powerful of the 4 bandits in the northern Song dynasty. Before Zhaoan, it almost disrupted the entire Shandong and Hebei regions. Is this from Wu Songfa? Su Junming nodded. Although he looked down upon the 108 generals of Gangdasha in Liangshan and did not deliberately fight for them, in the end, there were still a few who became disciples of Chongshan. Take Wu Song, for example, who is Yu Fan's registered disciple. In just 30 years, his martial arts cultivation has reached the 5 internal organs realm, which is equivalent to the monk's soul realm. I have to say that the luck of heaven and earth has given me a divine help in my practice. In addition to this traveler, among the 108 generals who became disciples of Chongshan was Ruyanlong Gongsun Sheng. His master, Taoist Luo, was the direct disciple of Su Junming when he preached in Huanglong Mountain. Now he is the disciple of Zhang Sanfan. Practice. Next is 9 Patterns Dragon Shijin, a disciple of the inner sect of Chongshan Academy. His cultivation is not as good as Wu Song, but he has also reached the realm of martial arts and blood refining, which is equivalent to the nascent soul realm. In addition to these 3 days of gang seeing, among the 72 earth evil spirits, there are 3 people, Pei Xian, the iron-faced eye, Zhu Wu, the Shenji military advisor, and Shui Yang, the sick Big Chong. Chongshan Academy is far to the northwest, so not many of the 108 generals have entered it. Fanner got my instructions and specially arranged for him to be an undercover agent next to Chao Gai, so he also participated in robbing the birthday card. After a pause, Su Junming smiled slightly. In addition, I also discovered something interesting. Chao Gai is actually a direct disciple of Tianchi Dao. The Dragon Emperor frowned slightly. How do you know? Gongsun Sheng said that he discovered the projection of the dragon and tiger seal, the most precious treasure of Tianchi Taoism, in Chao Gai's Danshan. With the perspective power of the bronze mirror, this matter cannot be false. It seems that when Tianchi Dao used Zhou Pihong's help to release the Tiangangdasha demons, they had already thought about how to use them to overthrow the rule of the Song dynasty. After a pause, the Dragon Emperor suddenly opened his eyes and blurted out, "Song Jiang. I will go to Yunqing County myself." After Su Junming nodded, the Dragon Emperor disappeared instantly. Interesting, the last game of chess is getting more and more interesting. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 769. Chapter 750 Suofang Fang City. Looking at both sides of the broad street in front of me, the eye-catching plagues with suffixes of elixir store, magic weapon store, and spiritual beast store are all dazzling, covering almost everything. Shop. Is this Shuofang Fang City? Zhao Kuangyan asked. Your Majesty, that's right. Shuofang Fang City is the largest city in the entire northwest of the Song dynasty, and even in the entire northern part of China in Qi County. Relying on Chongshan Academy, not only are all kinds of cultivation items complete in category, but they can also guarantee the safety of traders. Safe. In just 100 years, it has developed to its current scale. If it weren't for Chongshan Academy's strict order not to sell magic treasures, this place would have surpassed Pengleifang City and become the number 1 in China in Qi County, Zhong Shihang said in a condensed voice. Since it is developing so fast, there must be a reason, Zhao Piyu said. What the Prime Minister said is true. Shuofang Fang City is developing rapidly. In addition to Chongshan Academy cultivating a large number of monks and enough people buying it, it is also because the settlement of various goods is all based on elixirs. Elixir? What kind of elixir? Huanja pill, 3 yellow pills, 5 yellow pills, 7 yellow pills and 9 yellow pills respectively target the 5 realms of Jizu, Xiantian, Golden Pill, Yuanying, and Yuanshen. Every 1,200 yellow bud pills can be exchanged for 1 3 yellow pill, similarly, 1,203 yellow pills can be exchanged for 1 5 yellow pill, and the same is true later. These elixirs can be used for both consumption and shopping. No one will refuse them. So they quickly became popular. As the prime minister of a country and a person who had been in charge of the world's general affairs, Zhao Piyu quickly understood the key. If you want elixirs to be used as currency among monks, you need a huge amount of elixirs to support them. It seems that there are a large number of alchemists in Chongshan Academy. What Xiongguo said is true. In the middle courtyard of Chongshan Academy, there is an alchemist academy that specializes in training alchemists. Their graduation standard is to be able to refine Huanja Dan, disease elixir and healing pill. 3 basic elixirs. It is rumored that alchemists who graduated from Chongshan Academy can refine 9 kinds of elixirs, including Sanhuang Dan. Chongshan General Academy's standards are higher. As for the specifics, Weiken has no personal experience. For the time being, not sure. Zhao Piyu nodded and continued, cultivating alchemists requires a lot of resources and high-level alchemy teachers. Chongshan Academy can only be established for 100 years. Where can these things be obtained? It is rumored that Su Junming, the true lord of Chongshan, is a master of alchemy himself. His third disciple, Fairy Kongsang Chiao Shaoxin, is also a master of alchemy. I see. Zhao Piyu suddenly realized. The true lord of Chongshan, Su Junming, is truly a genius. He is a master of both martial arts and Taoism, and he can also make great achievements in the way of alchemy. Can Su Junming refine the elixir? Zhao Quangayan said suddenly. Zhong Shiheng nodded. It is rumored that there are dozens of elixirs inherited in Chongshan Academy. The most well-known is the 3 talents elixir. What is the 3 talents elixir? Huangdan, Di Huangdan and Tian Huangdan. Among them, human Huangdan corresponds to the celestial immortal realm, Di Huangdan corresponds to the true immortal realm, and Tian Huangdan corresponds to the mysterious immortal realm. The 3 elixirs are the best elixirs for increasing one's strength and practicing Qi, Shiheng said. Where's the golden wonderland? I don't know. Maybe there is, but a pill of this level, even if it exists, will only be digested among the direct disciples of Chongshan and will not flow out at all. After the words fell, the atmosphere between the 3 people fell silent again. Along the way, they fully realized how prosperous the practice was in Shuofang County. Even if it can't be said that there are monks everywhere, in 200 or 300 years, it will be almost the same. It can be said that Chongshan Academy has truly popularized spiritual practice to everyone. Entering school at the age of 6 and studying for 5 years, as long as you have intermediate qualifications, you will be advanced to the advanced level by the time you graduate. Even if you are inferior or have no qualifications to practice Qi, if you have the perseverance, you can advance to the innate level through martial arts training. Moreover, starting from the middle school, Chongshan Academy will train students separately according to their talents. There are nearly 100 different colleges for you to choose from. After 9 years, those with superior qualifications and diligent practice can break through the golden elixir realm and enter the upper school to study. Even those who have not entered the upper house can still enter the upper house if they advance to Jindan in the future. This complete system truly makes it possible for you to succeed as long as you have talent. This subversive inheritance method has long shaken the entire Qi County, China. But there is no sect that can learn from Chongshan Academy, preach to the world, and allow everyone to practice. Not everyone is willing to give up the established master-disciple inheritance and teach the skills to everyone openly. Besides, resources are limited, so if you share more, you will lose one. Not many people are willing to give up their vested interests. They never thought, or deliberately pretended to be deaf and dumb, that they didn't need to divide at all. As long as they made the cake bigger, they might get more. My lord, maybe this is the path that the Song dynasty should take in the future, Zhao Piyu said in a deep voice. Zhao Quangayan nodded. Along the way, he fully experienced the stability and prosperity of Shuofang County, as well as its increasingly solid foundation. This was unprecedented in any county under the rule of the Song dynasty. But he also knows how difficult it is to achieve this. Is Chongshan Academy really just a sect that has been established for 100 years? Zhao Piyu and Zhong Shiheng also frowned. This is also their common question. Although 100 years may seem like a long time, it is actually very short for a monk. It is basically impossible to establish a system to manage tens of billions or even more monks in such a short period of time. But Chongshan Academy was not only completed, but the system was also very complete. This has to be doubtful. Your Majesty, Prime Minister, many people think that Chongshan Academy must control a huge world. They have been developing in this world for many years and established a complete system. Just wait for Chongshan Academy. The true Lord only came to the outside world after he advanced to Golden Immortal, Zhong Shiheng said. After hearing this, an idea flashed in Zhao Piyu's mind and he blurted out. The lower realm of Shushan Mountain. Zhao Kuangyan and Zhong Shiheng looked over instantly. Your Majesty, do you remember that there is a small world about 20 million miles in length and breadth called the lower world of Shushan adjacent to Archi County, Shenzhou? After thinking for a moment, Zhao Kuangyan nodded. It is rumored that many great masters such as Guangquanzi, Chunyang Jinren, Fueozi, etc. all came from this world. Zhao Piyu nodded and said, for many years, the lower realm of Shushan has been one of the main sources of immortal officials in the immortal court. But since 250 years ago, no one has ascended. I didn't care at first, after all, for people from the lower realm of Shu Mountain, becoming an immortal is not an easy thing. But after 100 years, no one had ascended, so I began to feel that something was strange. So I sent a team of Imperial Guards to investigate, but they never came back. Later, I sent people 3 times in a row, and the last time I asked General Nangong to lead the team personally. Of course Zhao Kuangyan knew about Nangong Lin, one of the few Xianxian warriors in the Yellow Emperor's immortal domain. The result is still no return. Later, I wanted General Yang to go there, but he failed to notice and was captured and killed by Su Junming. With Zhao Piyu and Zhao Kuangyan's golden immortal cultivation, as long as they are willing to investigate, of course, what Zhao Ji did cannot be hidden from them. But it's too late even if you get angry again. And this matter cannot be made public, otherwise it will be a heavy blow to the military morale of the Song dynasty. That little descendant really pisses me off. Speaking of this matter, Zhao Kuangyan was also extremely angry. The Song dynasty had been a country for 10,000 years and had many famous ministers and generals. However, for such a long time, including him, there were only 3 golden immortals, making it even rarer for Yang Ye to be loyal. Unexpectedly, this minister whom he relied on would be given to the enemy by the descendants of the Zhao family. Destroy the Great Wall. Seeing him angry, Zhao Piyu sighed inwardly. Looking at the past dynasties, there is no royal family like the old Zhao family that except for the founding Yellow Emperor, the rest of the royal family are all mediocre people. But as a minister, it would be wiser to ignore such a slap in the face. After regaining his composure, Zhao Piyu continued, later, in order to find out the truth, I went there personally. It turned out that the entire lower realm of Shushan was enveloped by a very powerful top-level immortal formation. Seeing the caution on Zhao Piyu's face, Zhao Kuangyan frowned. He knew that this old subordinate of his would be extremely tyrannical if he could make it difficult for him even if he was a golden immortal. How does it compare to the 5 elements killing immortal formation that protects the immortal courtyard? Stronger. Zhao Kuangyan's expression changed. Really? Old minister, there are absolutely no lies. His eyes became deep, and there was a hint of fear on his face. At the beginning, Wyken also tried to test the formation. If he hadn't seen the opportunity quickly, he almost fell into it. Is there someone controlling the formation? Zhao Kuangyan asked. Based on his understanding of the formation, even if it is a strong formation, if no one is in charge of the formation, 100% of its power will be reduced by 40 to 50%. If Zhao Pu, the Golden Immortal, can't match him, there must be someone taking the lead. Exactly. It's just that after the old minister reported his home, no one answered him, so he had no choice but to return. Later, in order to find out the changes in the lower world, the old minister checked all the related documents, and then discovered that in the 270 years previously, Lu Qiao, the picket officer placed by the old minister in the lower realm, reported that there is a sect called Chongshan Academy in the lower realm, which is rapidly growing in strength and has attempted to compete with Imei and dominate the lower realm. I hope that the Immortal Court will pay attention to it. Later, I saw the letter he submitted saying that Chongshan Academy was also a righteous sect, so I didn't pay much attention to it. I never thought that Lu Qiao would not be heard from again for many years. I thought he had been isolated by the formation and could no longer contact the veteran. That's why there is no news. Although I was a little surprised when I first read this old news, I had never connected it with Chongshan Academy in Chixian Shenzhou. After all, in less than 300 years, no matter how powerful a sect is, it is impossible for it to transform from a small sect in the lower world to a giant sect in China in Qi County. Become a disciple of Taoist priest for us. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 770. Chapter 751, Wheel of Fortune, 5 Emperors Fighting for the Top. But what Zhongping said just now reminded me that as early as 200 years ago, Chongshan Academy unified the lower realm of Shushan and turned it into a private area. To avoid interference from the upper realm, it used a large formation to isolate the inside and outside. So, Su Junming, the true lord of Chongshan, comes from the lower realm of Shushan. Zhao Kuangyan frowned slightly. The spiritual energy in the lower world of Shushan is sparse, so it is possible for a true immortal to emerge. Golden Fairy. How many years will it take? As long as you have a sound mind, you won't waste your time there. Of course, except for special reasons. Back then, by chance, Lord Moloto Simoling got the only middle grade innate spiritual treasure in Chixian China, the Tianmo Miao falling flag. It was inevitable that someone would take it away after learning about it, so he secretly left Chixian China and came to the lower realm of Shushan Mountain. This dog lasts for tens of thousands of years. Unfortunately, before he could perform the return of the king, he was captured by Su Junming, who was more blessed, and was sent to the world of Chongshan to become a coolie. After thinking deeply, Zhao Pu shook his head. I can't know everything, but Chongshan Academy must have occupied the lower realm of Shushan. Zhao Kuangyan nodded, his eyes suddenly becoming deep. The lower realm of Shu Mountain spans 20 million miles, plus the 59 counties they occupy in the upper realm. If every county has the same heritage as Shuofang County, then they are the biggest obstacle to our unification of the world. Zhao Pu and Zhong Shiheng nodded in agreement. Your Majesty, it's time to integrate the internal forces. Cut off the claws of Tianqi Dao, Shenxiao Dao, Chunyang sect, and Kongtong sect as soon as possible, so that we can turn around and destroy Chongshan Academy, which poses the greatest threat. Pick the soft persimmon first and pinch it. Zhao Kuangyan understood the truth. Zepping, send someone to contact Jin, Liao, and Zixia. They have been humiliated by Chongshan Academy for 100 years. I think they are planning revenge again. The enemy of the enemy is a friend. If they can consume each other, it will save us from unification. It's the world's time, Zhao Kuangyan said solemnly. Don't worry, Your Majesty, this matter will be taken care of by me. Zhao Kuangyan nodded, looking at the bustling streets, he sighed heavily in his heart. If he could explore Tai Immortal Way, he wouldn't have to rack his brains here. It's a pity that although he is lucky, his qualifications are not top-notch. After 3,000 years of hard training, he still has difficulty breaking through. It can be seen that the luck of being the Yellow Emperor is not enough for him to take that final step. Only by unifying the entire Qi County Shenzhou and repeating the glory of the ancient dynasty can we break through the Tai realm with the help of the great destiny of heaven and earth. This is also the consensus of all the golden immortals including him, Qing Emperor Wanyanzong Han, Black Emperor Yelu Diguang, and White Emperor Li Yuanhao. Everyone wants to unify the world and break through the Tai wonderland through the luck of heaven and earth. But there is only one honorable position. Who can sit on it will have to fight fiercely to determine the winner. This dispute not only involves monks, but also ordinary people. No one can stay out of it. Therefore, the world calls this upcoming chaos the five emperors fighting for the ding-ding. If I had not been so conceited at that time and had used the power of the Central Plains Taoist sect to unify the world, I wouldn't have had to go to such trouble, Zhao Kuangyan thought to himself. I thought it was just a place to unify the Central Plains, and we could break through with the help of the luck here. In the end, the cruel reality told him that his qualifications were not as strong as he imagined. If you want to make a breakthrough by luck, it's almost impossible. Seeing the drastic change in his expression, Zhao Piyu and Zhong Shiheng wisely remained silent. Suddenly, a jade plaque on Zhao Kuangyan's waist lit up. There was a movement in my heart. I collected my mind, picked it up and looked at it. My face changed slightly. With a flick of his fingers, the light converged and was collected around his waist. Zepping, there is something going on in the palace, and you and I need to go back and deal with it. Zhao Piyu nodded and didn't ask any more questions. Zhao Kuangyan turned his head and looked friendly. Qingzhong, please accompany me during this period of time. Please have a good rest in the next few days. Zhong Shiheng said quickly, Your Majesty is serious. This is what I should do. He patted his shoulder with satisfaction. Guard the western frontier well for the Song dynasty, pay close attention to the movements of Chongshan Academy, and report at any time. I obey the order. Let's go. After Zhao Piyu nodded, the two turned into light and walked away, quickly disappearing into the horizon. After staring for a while, Zhong Shiheng turned around and went downstairs, crossed the street and corridor, and soon came to a quiet house, knocked on the door and entered. The old servant saw him and hurriedly came forward to greet him. Have Shi Dao and Shi Zhong returned? Back to the old master, the two young masters' son have been practicing in the upper courtyard and have not been home for half a year. But the master and his wife are here. Oh, Ziking is here. As he spoke, a middle-aged man wearing a dark robe, with a Chinese character on his face, a majestic expression, and sharp eyes walked out of it. Next to him was a beautiful middle-aged woman. Dad, why are you here? Meet my father-in-law. Looking at his seventh son, Zhong Shiheng smiled and nodded, go in and talk. Instead of going to the living room, a group of 3 people came to the back house. After letting the servants leave, activate the restriction and isolate the inside and outside. I am here to accompany His Majesty Teju and the old Prime Minister. Zhongji's expression changed. He was also a true immortal master and a former important minister of the Song dynasty. Of course he knew who His Majesty Teju and the old Xianghua were. Teju is planning to take action against Chongshan Academy. After shaking his head, Chongshan Academy has great strength. He will not take action until he has eliminated the threat of the Central Plains Dao section, otherwise, it will make enemies on all sides and it will be difficult to win in the end. Zhongji nodded. A moment of silence. Father, who do you think will win in the Battle of 5 Emperors? Chongshan Academy. After a pause, Zhong Shiheng sighed with emotion. It has been said since ancient times, he who wins the hearts of the people wins the world. Looking at the core concept of Chongshan lineage, taking the heaven and earth as the foundation, there is no distinction between humans, demons, and witches. All living beings are equal. Undoubtedly, he has won the hearts of all souls in the world. And they don't just talk but don't do anything. Looking at the control of Chongshan Academy, they are all about educating the world, strictly punishing the law, and not judging good and evil based on race. In contrast, the Song dynasty has been completely corrupted after nearly 10,000 years of rule. Even if Tasia comes out, it will be difficult to win back the hearts of the people. The entire Central Plains Dao sect will not stand by him like last time. Sighed heavily. There is only one chance. Once lost, it will never come again. 10,000 years have passed, and the Song dynasty no longer has the people's support and foundation to unify the world. Zhongji was silent for a long time. In that case, why don't father resign and go into seclusion? This would not be considered as letting down the Song dynasty and His Majesty. No, my Zhong family has been loyal for generations, and His Majesty Teju has been kind to me. As a father, I must not abandon the Song dynasty at this critical moment, Zhong Shihang said firmly. Father. Okay, no need to say any more. After interrupting his son unceremoniously, Zhong Shihang slowed down his tone. Shi Dao and Shi Zhong are the most outstanding disciples among the 3 generations of my Zhong family. Relying on Chongshan Academy, they will achieve great success in the future. Even if I and your brothers die in the battlefield in the future, our Zhong family will not be extinct. In this way, I will be the soul of the family. Returning to the underworld, I will be worthy of the ancestors of my family. Seeing his father's firm look, Zongji sighed secretly. He knew his father's temper, and even 9 cows couldn't pull him back from his determination. Hopefully there will be a chance to recover in the future. However, he himself didn't have much confidence. The world is fighting for the throne, the immortals and demons are fighting. How cruel it is. Yunqing County is a large county under Kozhu Prefecture in Jiyan County. It has a population of hundreds of millions. It is stable and prosperous and has prosperous industries. It is a rare wealthy place. Therefore, even though Song Jiang was a small official in Yunqing County, he still had a lot of money in his pocket every month. Of course, if you want to maintain his reputation as Jianghu Beiyi and Shandong Jiyu, this amount of silver will definitely not be enough. But Xiaosong Jiazhuang in Yunqing County has thousands of hectares of fertile land and hundreds of slaves. As the eldest son of Mrs. Song from Song Jiazhuang, Song Jiang is actually not short of money. If he hadn't been unwilling to just be a landowner in the countryside, and if he wanted to do something big outside, he wouldn't have had to come to the county government to be a clerk who asked people to come and go. Song Yasi, I heard that a few days ago there was a new star in Hongkui Lu. His appearance makes people feel itchy, and he also sings good songs. Why don't you and I go and see it together? Song Jiang should not refuse the invitation from the county captain. It's just that I caught a cold last night and is dizzy now. If I go, I will suffer from vomiting and diarrhea. I'm afraid it will disturb your enjoyment. As he said that, he took out the silver coins from his pocket and handed it to the other party's hand. My lord, please go away. I will wait until my bones are better before I go with the county captain. He took the silver coins unceremoniously and shook it with a satisfied smile on his face. Forget it, since Song Yasi is not feeling well today, let's do it next time. He just patted his shoulder, turned around and left without even saying a word of concern. Looking at the retreating figure, a cold light flashed through Song Jiang's eyes. Brother, that dog officer is just an excuse to extort your money, why bother giving it to him? A tall man with a long sword in his hand walked up to Song Jiang and glared at the county captain's back. Haha, it was Song Jiang who failed the county captain's kindness. He put on that harmless smile again and turned his head. Brother Lei Hung is off work too. I'm about to invite my brothers for a drink. If my brother has nothing to do, why don't we come too? After glancing at the government servants following Lei Hung, Song Jiang shook his head. Next time. I have something else to do, so I'll leave first. Brother, walk slowly. After Song Jiang left, a police officer behind Lei Hung said dissatisfiedly. This Songyasi is really a snobbery. The county captain invited us, but even if he didn't go, he would give us money. We, Lei Yudu, invited us, but we didn't go, but in the end we didn't give any money. Lei Hung became angry, turned around and said, "What are you shouting about? Am I, Lei Hung, that kind of greedy and despicable person?" All the officials were afraid of his power and apologized one after another. "Don't blame me, we just said it casually." "Yes, just say it casually. Tou, let's take a walk and go to the Liang family's old shop. I'll be the host today, so I'll treat Tou to a drink." The crowd gathered around Lei Hung and disappeared at the end of the street paved with bluestones in a short time. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 771. Chapter 752, Shandong Hu Beiyi, Xiao Ai Zaburo. Although he was only a small official in the county government, Song Jiang, who had a rich family fortune, owned a spacious two-story building on the main street of Yunqing County. "I usually feel comfortable living alone. Of course, he also has a wife, but they stay in Songjiazhuang, not in Yunqing. If necessary, go to Hunkui building to solve it." However, recently, a new concubine was admitted to the house, and the concubine was happy to serve her, so she lived a happy life. Thinking, Yan Poxi's charming appearance and good figure could not help but appear in my mind. When my heart warmed, I was ready to change out of my official uniform and go have a good time. Subconsciously speeding up his pace, after opening the lock, Zaya opened the door and went in. When he saw the figure sitting in the hall, he was startled and suddenly became alert. "Elder brother. Brother Gongming." The familiar tone made Song Jiang lower his guard. He quickly closed the door and stepped forward. Two men who had been waiting for a long time also hurriedly came forward. These two people, one is tall and the other is short. He was tall and strong, with a bronze complexion and a faint fishy smell. He wears a green scarf on his head, has a rough face, and tall cheekbones, giving him a tough and honest look. The short one was wearing a dark gray bunt, with a thin build, small eyes, a flat nose, and two rat whiskers below. His eyes rolled around, making him look a bit sinister. It turns out to be brothers Xiao Wu and Bai Sheng. "Brother, don't blame me. Both of us are guilty and dare not stay outside, so we came in without telling you," Ruan Xiao said. "Brothers, what are you talking about? Sit down quickly." After the three of them sat down. "How about less security? Brother Chao Gai took us to Liangshan Shuabo, and now we brothers have settled here," Bai Sheng said. "That's good." Song Jiang breathed a sigh of relief. "Thanks to Brother Gongming who came to report the news that day, my brothers and I were able to escape the pursuit of the officers and soldiers. It is a great kindness that we will never forget." Ruan Xiao and Bai Sheng bowed down. "Brothers, please get up quickly, please get up quickly." After the two stood up, they took off the baggage from behind, placed it on the round table next to them and untied it. Crash, gold, silver, and jewelry rolled out, as many as 1,000 taels. "Brother Chao Gai asked me and my two brothers to bring these gold and silver to express our gratitude to our brothers. In the future, if my brother Gongming wants to make a move, our brothers will definitely dig in his guts and never refuse." Although the Song family is rich in wealth, 1,000 taels of silver is not a small amount. However, compared to gold and silver, Song Jiang values more friends such as Chao Gai and Ruan brothers, who are highly skilled in cultivation. Our brothers' loyalty comes first. If we add these gold and silver mundane things, wouldn't it tarnish our friendship? Put it away quickly and take it back to Xiaobao. Ruan Xiao and Bai Sheng showed admiration on their faces. Since ancient times, there have been many people in the world who are greedy for money, but few who value love and righteousness. Brother, wait a minute. When I came, Brother Chao Gai told me again and again that he must accept it. If we were to take it back again, wouldn't we be betraying Brother Chao Gai's trust? Bai Sheng also echoed with a few words of advice. Seeing their eager expressions, Song Jiang thought for a moment and picked up a silver ingot worth about 10 taels from the gold and silver. I'll just take these so you can explain to Xiaobao when you go back. Elder brother. Interrupting Ruan Xiao. If you keep nagging me, you won't have me as a brother. Seeing his serious expression, the two of them did not dare to say anything. After looking at each other, they had to agree. Everything follows Brother Gongming's orders. Haha, that's right. Money is something external to the body, but our brotherhood is worth $1,000. After a pause. Okay, you guys stay here for a while, and I'll buy some wine and meat to eat with the two brothers. Brother, wait a minute, our identities are sensitive, so we shouldn't stay here too long. Otherwise, if I injure my brother, I'll be damned. It's just a good time to leave the city quietly while it's getting late, Ruan Xiao said. Song Jiang also knew the importance. Well, I still have some dry food here, you can take it with you to eat on the way. Thank you, brother. He put the dry food he bought earlier into a furoshiki, cut some beef he bought for them, and handed it to the two of them. Don't cause trouble on the road, be careful. Brother, don't worry. By the way, this is the letter Brother Chao Gai sent me, Ruan Xiao said. Take it and open it for a closer look. It said that they had already settled down in Liangshan River, and invited him to come here and join the group as a deputy village leader only under Chao Gai. Song Jiang laughed in his heart. He has always been ambitious and wanted to make a difference in the officialdom, and he never bothered to become a water pirate. Put the letter away. You two replied to Xiaobao for me. Song Gongming would like to thank him for his kindness. However, I have my old parents here and I dare not go overboard. I hope he will be considerate. Ruan Xiao nodded. When he came, Chao Gai had told him that if Song Jiang refused after reading the letter, don't use force and just come back. Then my brother will say goodbye. Brother Gongming, take care. Take care, brothers. He personally escorted the two of them out of the house and watched them go away before returning. After this experience, he had no intention of going to Yan Poxi's place to have fun again. After taking out Chao Gai's letter and reading it again, I used less energy. After having a hasty dinner, I got ready to rest. 3 feet above the Songjiang wooden building, in the temporarily opened mustard space, the Dragon Emperor sat cross-legged. He has been here for several days and has not noticed any difference between Songjiang and other Tiangang stars. Did I guess wrong? Isn't this Songjiang a secret laid by Zhao Kuangyan? He shook his head, turned his eyes, and looked at Ruan Xiao who was walking away. It's a pity that this person is here. To be honest, like Su Junming, he didn't think much of the so-called Liangshan 108 generals, except for a few. Jade Kailan Lu Junyi, although his martial arts skills are high, his brain is not good enough. He was played by Wu Yong and forced to go to Liangshan without saying a word. He was also gullible and lost his head in the end. Compared with him, Yan Qing, as a slave, was more outstanding. Not only did he rescue Lu Junyi several times, he retreated bravely after sweeping square law, and finally returned with a beautiful woman in his arms, winning the favor of the famous prostitute Li Shishi. Lin Chong, the leopard leader, was a coward by nature. His wife committed suicide after being insulted, but he could bear to be recruited and work for the Song dynasty. It was indeed a knife in his head. In contrast, the Dragon Emperor still admires Wu Song, who is happy with his grudges and repays his grievances and revenges. Wu Yong, a wise man with many stars, is more of a sinister villain than a strategist. He is full of scheming and uses every possible means when scheming people. In order to force Zhu Tong, the handsome man, to go up the mountain, he even killed children. When it comes to marching and formation, even Zhu Wu is better than him. As a military advisor, he has never formulated a long-term development strategy for Liang Shan. Whether it is attacking Zhejiazhuang 3 times, attacking Zhengtu City, or even attacking Daming Mansion, it is always a hammer in the east and a stick in the west. Virtue does not match. He has to bear a lot of responsibility for Liangshan's final destruction. The short-legged tiger Wang Ying not only prostitutes women and daughters, but also eats human flesh. Not to mention Zhang Qing and son Erniang. There is a cross slope under the big tree, and no one dares to cross it. The fat ones are used to make steamed bun fillings, while the thin ones are thrown away to fill the river. Such people are simply monsters in human skin. In fact, except for Guansheng, Yangji, Hu Yanzuo, Huarong, Suning, the 3 Ruan brothers and a few others, Liangshan was simply a den of thieves. According to the standards of conduct of these people, if they were placed in Chongshan Academy, most of them would be sentenced to serve in the emperor's tower for 100 years. Therefore, Su Junming did not take the initiative to look for these people even though they knew that these people had excellent qualifications and were even rare geniuses in Tiangongzing. But looking back now, if I could establish rules from a young age and guide them on the right path, they might not be as evil-doing as written in the book. It was precisely after understanding this and seeing Ruan Xiao's excellent qualifications that the Dragon Emperor said, "What a pity." However, he didn't bother to think about things that were already in the past. Chongshan Academy, which has 59 counties and a population of 1 trillion, has no shortage of talents. Suddenly, 2 astonishing breaths came from afar. With a thought in his heart, a bronze mirror above the Dragon Emperor shed heavy light, creating a more powerful space barrier, isolating the inside and outside. The 2 escaping lights flew like lightning, and after circling around Yunchinj County, they quickly flew towards Songjiang's location. The light receded, revealing a big man with a purple face wearing a gorgeous robe, and an old man with a bright head wearing a green robe. Judging from the appearance, it is Zhao Quangayan and Zhao Piyu who flew all the way from Shuofang County. What's wrong? Zhao Quangayan shook his head. Just now, he vaguely felt that the space here was a bit unstable, but he didn't take it to heart. Looking down, he saw the dark-faced man sleeping in the room. Is he Song Jiang? That's right. Although this person comes from a humble background, he has great ambitions and likes to make friends with gangsters in the world. Therefore, he is called Shandong Hu Beiyi, Xiaoi Black Saburo, and Timely Rain. He is very popular. Those people in the world respect him. Moreover, he is also one of the 36 Tiangangs, so he is suitable for executing His Majesty's plan. Zhao Quangayan nodded slightly and looked at the black-faced man in the room below. If Chao Gai dies, can he control Liang Shan? Zhao Piyu nodded and said, the only one we need to worry about is Tianxiang Xing Lin Chong, but the old minister has a way to deal with this person. I guarantee that he will give up the position of leader to Song Jiang. After Zhao Quangayan nodded, he patted the black bracelet on his left wrist, the light flickered, and a carved wooden box flew out. After opening it, carefully took out a bead the size of a longan. It's a pity that there is only one soul controlling bead, otherwise I might as well add some extra insurance. With a flick of his finger, the beads turned into black light and sank into Song Jiang's body from the center of his eyebrows. Zhao Quangayan changed his finger formula after a moment. Certainly. With a low drink, a faint black light enveloped Song Jiang's head for a moment and then gradually disappeared. All right. Congratulations to your majesty. By taking control of Liang Shan, we can turn danger into advantage, wipe out the ambitions of Tianqi Dao, Shenxiao Dao, Chunyang sect, and Kongtong sect, and ensure that our country, Song dynasty, will be peaceful for thousands of years. Zhao Kuangyan smiled and nodded. Become a disciple of Taoist priest for us. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 772. Chapter 753, the curtain opens and all parties take action. If he had not gone to Shuofang County, Zhao Kuangyan might be extremely happy at this moment, thinking that as long as the conspiracy of the four great sects was foiled, the Song dynasty Guozhou would be safe. But now he discovered that compared to Zhongyuan Dao sect, Chongshan Academy was the truly powerful enemy. If they are not eliminated, there will be no hope of success in their own plans. Let's go and see Liangshan again. After Zhao Piyu nodded, the two of them turned into escaping light and soared into the sky, and soon disappeared from the horizon. In the mustard seed space, the Dragon Emperor activated the shadow of the bronze mirror in his Danshan and looked at the situation inside Song Jiang's body. The black soul controlling bead just now, under the control of Zhao Kuangyan, turned into a shadow, tightly attached to Song Jiang's 3 souls and 7 souls. Su Junming practiced Soul Dao skillfully, and with the help of Dragon Emperor's observation, he instantly understood the function of this soul controlling bead. Soul control bead, controlling soul is only second. The real power of this bead is that it can subtly change a person's temperament, twist a person's will, and make him obey the command of the master of the soul control bead. Is this Zhao Kuangyan's plan to use Song Jiang to control Liangshan? Su Junming said. We all know the situation in Liangshan. If Chao Gai is killed, this plan will be almost 100% successful. After a pause, do you need me to pick out this bead? After thinking for a while, Su Junming denied, don't move, so as not to alarm Zhao Kuangyan. He wants to wipe out the Central Plains Dao Gate before dealing with us. We also need to wipe out Jin Liao and Zixia, and then go back to plan for him. The Dragon Emperor nodded. Now that we have figured out Zhao Kuangyan's plan, you should come back. It's time to clean up the surrounding area, Su Junming said. I'll go to Liangshan first. Chao Gai can't die yet. After saying that, a ray of light flew up and quickly disappeared. When it comes to the road, no one will relax. Returning from Liangshan to the Yellow Emperor's cave deep in Yanshan Mountain, Zhao Kuangyan and Zhao Piyu also began to step up their layout. Here comes Dong Yun, the legendary spearman, and Han Guang, the 3-wind general. After the general on duty took the order and left, not long after, 2 generals 8 feet tall and wearing golden helmets strode in. Your Majesty, Dong Yun, Han Guang, is here to see you. Both generals are exempt from courtesy. Zhao Kuangyan had a smile on his face. Although he had been in seclusion over the years, Zhao Piyu had secretly cultivated many talents. These 2 people are the best among them. 2 generals, I have a very important thing that I need you to do. Please give me your Majesty's orders. I will not give up even if I die. Very good. Zhao Kuangyan looked solemn. Dong Iking, starting immediately, you will leave Xianting, change your name to Shi Wengong, and go to the Zheng family in Zhengtu City, the capital of Shandong province, to work as a guardian martial artist. Although he didn't understand why His Majesty asked him to do this, he still respectfully agreed. Han Iking, under the pseudonym Luan Tingyu, go to Zhejiazhuang, Tangzhen County, Dongkozhu Prefecture, Shan, to work as a martial arts instructor. As commanded. The mission of you 2 is to lure the water bandits in the Liangshan River to attack Zhejiazhuang and Zhengtu City, and then kill the water bandit leader Chao Gai. Except for this man, do not kill any other water bandit leaders. Beheading Chao Gai was a great achievement, but killing the other water bandit leaders was indeed a mistake. My dear friends, can you take note of this? I will obey the holy order and only kill Chao Gai. Zhao Kuangyan nodded with satisfaction. This matter is of great importance. From my mouth to your ears, No one else is allowed to know. Wei Chen takes orders. Go ahead. The two took the order and left. Watch their backs go away. Zepping, they are young and have little knowledge. You should pay more attention to this matter. Your Majesty, don't worry. Zhao Piyu smiled and nodded. The vast Dongting Lake covers 80,000 miles. The vast ocean is infinitely blue, and the 1,000-foot-high mountain is called Junshan. As the main hub of the Dongting Lake geology, Junshan is not high, but it stands out from thousands of mountains in the world. Inner Junshan Cave Heaven is the seat of the four major Taoist sects of the Central Plains, the Shenxiao Tao. In the center of this small world that stretches thousands of miles is the core of Shenxiao Dao. Shenxiao Mountain. On the towering mountains, among the endless green waves, there are dots of palace buildings hidden. In particular, the Five Thunder Hall on the top of Tianli Peak, the main peak of Shenxiao Mountain, is even more magnificent. 18 golden pillars, embraced by 20 or 30 people, support a vast hall that covers an area of thousands of acres and is 100 feet high. The strong but not dazzling golden light reaches up to the bullfighting and touches down to the earth, making it look extremely sacred. In the Five Thunder Hall, the thousands of acres of Grand Hall appear as bright as day under the illumination of star-like night pearls. Looking across the long central straight road, 2 lotus terraces with a diameter of 3 feet are floating in the air. An old man of half a century in green robes and a young Taoist priest in purple robes sat cross-legged on one side, one on the left and the other on the right. Before the two men bowed their heads, nearly 100 disciples of different appearances and ages stood respectfully aside. Fang La. The disciple is here. A tall man wearing a brocade robe and a square face emerged from the crowd. The old man in green robes, Wang Wenqing, the leader of Shenxiao Dao, said solemnly, "You are the most outstanding one among the 38 generations of disciples of Shenxiao Dao. Today I will take on the important task of overthrowing the Song dynasty and establishing the Taoist kingdom of Shenxiao Dao. Here you are. Disciple, obey." Looking at him calmly. "If you can accomplish this, you will be the next leader of our Shenxiao Dao." Fang La was shocked and his eyes showed ecstasy. "Thank you to the two leaders for trusting me. I will do my best to overthrow the brutal and corrupt Song dynasty and establish our supreme Taoist kingdom of divine heaven." After smiling and nodding, he waved his sleeves. A spear and a big seal flew in front of him. "The skull-lifting spear is a top-grade immortal weapon that I trained with your uncle to help you conquer the world. The golden seal of the kingdom contains a trace of the destiny of our Shenxiao Dao kingdom and will help you suppress the destiny of the country. The so-called Shenxiao Dao kingdom is the country established by Shenxiao Dao in its own small world. There are tens of billions of Li Shu, all disciples of Shenxiao Dao. Thank you to the two ancestors for their trust. My disciples will dedicate themselves to my great cause of Shenxiao Dao." After Wang Wenqing nodded, he looked at the disciples behind him. "You will assist your senior brother well. After you succeed, you will be rewarded heavily. Disciple, please obey." Wang Yin, Den Yuanzhu, Shi Bao, Si Xing Fang, Fang Ji, Li Tianrun, Pang Wanchun, Lu Xinang, and others responded loudly. They are all inner disciples who have been trained by Shenxiao Tao for many years and have outstanding martial arts skills. Of course, they are willing to contribute to the great cause of the sect. After explaining the situation and agreeing on a date for the incident, Wang Wenqing let them go down. "Junior brother, is there any news from Tianqi Dao, Chunyang sect, and Kongtong sect?" Lin Lingsu nodded. "The Chunyang sect will be led by Tianhu, a direct disciple of the sect, and assisted by Sunan, Shan Shiki, Chiao Daoking, Bian Xiang, etc., and will start an uprising in Hebei. The Kongtong faction will be led by Wang Qing, a direct disciple of the sect, and assisted by Li Zhu, Du Bo, Yuan Lang, etc., to start trouble in Sichuan and Shu. Tianqi Dao said that they have taken control of Shuabo Liangshan and will invade the Central Plains in the future. No wonder it was so easy to let Zhou Pihong break into the demon suppression hall of Taking Palace right under his nose, and release the 108 demons of Tiangang Earth Demon. He had already prepared his emotions to take advantage of them, Wang Wenqing said. Zhang Chongyang has always been a good calculator. I'm afraid he had expected Zhou Pihong to come, so he deliberately used his hand to release the demon, so as not to do it himself and hurt the eternal reputation of Tianqi Dao. Wang Wenqing nodded and asked, "Is there any news from Chongshan Academy?" Su Junming wrote back that he wants to deal with Jin, Liao, and Zixia. However, he promised that if Zhao Kuangyan goes too far and wants to destroy the Taoist sects like us, he will never sit idly by and ignore it. Wang Wenqing's face changed slightly. Do you believe what he says? Chongshan Academy captured the 7 southern states of the Liao Kingdom and killed Zhou Pihong, the king of the Southern Academy. In the past 100 years, it occupied more than half of the Zhejiang road of the Jin Kingdom. It also fought several battles with Zixia. Compared with no grievances and no enmity, there were even the Song dynasty, Liao Jin and Zixia, which are friendly to each other, are the real enemies of Chongshan Academy. Old grudges have not gone away, but new grudges have arisen. If I were Su Junming, I would not be an enemy of the Song dynasty at this time. Wang Wenqing thought for a moment and nodded slightly. Who do you think will have the last laugh between Chongshan Academy and Jin, Liao, and Zixia? Lin Lingsu pondered for a while and said, "You and I both know that the further you go in practice, the more numbers lose their meaning. Although there are 7 golden immortals in Zixia and Jinliao combined, Chongshan Zhenjun Su Junming is a double cultivator of martial arts, and there are even more. He killed the 3 witch generals of Nanzhao with his sword and suppressed the 3 golden immortals of the Liao Kingdom. His strength is unfathomable. Therefore, I don't know who will win and who will lose in the end. However, if Su Junming chooses to take the initiative and kill one of them first, Jin, Liao and Zixia will only be more vulnerable." Wang Wenqing nodded and sighed. Originally, one Zhao Kuangyan was enough to give us a headache, but now we have to add Su Junming. How can it be easy for the 5 emperors to fight for the throne and kill for thousands of years? At the critical moment, maybe the dragon clan from all over the world and the casual cultivators from the 3 mountains will also participate. They have been coveting the central plains for many years, Lin Lingsu said. It seems that it is necessary to establish closer ties with Tianqi Dao, Chunyang sect, and Kongtong sect, otherwise we will be defeated by Zhao Kuangyan one by one. Lin Lingsu nodded solemnly. When things came to a close, they realized more and more how difficult it was to gain the upper hand in the battle between the 5 emperors. If it weren't for the combination of Tianqi Tao, Shenxiao Tao, Chunyang sect, and Kongtong sect, the 4 great sects of the Central Plains, they would not have the confidence to replace the Song dynasty. 12,000 years later, he must have fully mastered the power of the Tai wheel. The Tai wheel is the most powerful treasure in Chixi and Shenzhou. It has the power to create the world and has always been controlled by the contemporary Yellow Emperor. Although Zhao Kuangyan did not unify Chixi and Shenzhou, he also obtained Tai Lun to suppress the Yellow Emperor's immortal court. The two looked at each other and saw the worry in each other's eyes. However, even though they knew that Zhao Kuangyan was difficult to deal with, they still wanted to give it a try. After all, the chance to revolutionize the world only comes once in 12,000 years. If they miss this time, they don't know if there will be another time. It's about Tai Immortal Dao, and they will never give up.